So we were getting ready
I
to
was trying
start,
put my
and
hair up.
Phaedra just crawled right up in there.
I wanted to put my hair in a ponytail. Why?
She's just in there.
Yep.
No, this is my spot.
Purring, that's the part, guys. Hi. Welcome to life with a cat.
She's like annoyed that you're moving.
You can't stay. No. You have to go down. Now you're stuck,
No,
aren't
Mommy.
you? Stop. Just stop. On and off this chair that likes to wobble. Right, I said don't. You're not helping. If you pull harder, you can't get the claw out. That's not how it works. Go down. Oh my god. Oh. Hello, Internet. My cat, I swear.
Hello in chat to Nikki, Jude, Sandy, and Asa. Sandy says, good afternoon from Queensville, Ontario. I roughly know where that is.
I have a vague idea. I don't know Ontario as well as I know Manitoba. You know, if I'm honest, the only reason I know Manitoba really well is because my sister played hockey when we were in high school, so like I heard a lot of names of small towns and stuff.
That'll do it.
Which helps. Yeah.
Nikki says, your cat's all up in your business, lol.
Oh my god. I get no personal space.
Oh.
I haven't even left yet. Right now, this is tons of personal space. After I've come home after being out for a while, no personal.
Oh, and Suzanne is in chat. Hello. And thanks for becoming a YouTube member. Or a Knit Nerds member, that's what we called it. Yeah.
Is that what you named it?
Yeah, we called it Knit Nerds.
Okay. I have no idea. I left you in charge of all of that. I was like,
no, I'm pretty sure you were on that call where we decided what to call it.
Did we? I probably just said yes.
I'm pretty sure it was a decision by committee.
I probably just said yes.
I don't remember either, really.
I tend to do that.
I probably alliterated words out of my face until some sounded good together.
That's how we name everything. That worked for me. Okay. Ooh, I have a bevy. I wanted to make instant coffee. I wanted to make cold instant coffee. I wanted to make cold instant coffee. We had to go live in like 2 minutes. So I absolutely pulled out a small mason jar of sugar and water.
Mason jars are like the best kitchen hack for making frothy coffee if you don't have the proper tools.
They are. Like, I like doing it in the big mason jar to make that foam coffee stuff, which is really tasty. But this was more, I don't have time to stand and stir with a spoon to mix the decaf, the instant decaf. I do have time to put a lid on and shake something while I walk to the office. And I really wanted some decaf coffee, so. Not that that's the only mason jar worth of liquid I've got going on. I have a larger version mason jar of liquid, but that's got lemonade in it. So that's entirely different, guys. It's WIP Sprint Saturday. What am I going to work on today?
It is WIP Sprint Saturday. Oh yeah, so Nikki's back from the hospital. I'm going to get comfortable so I can knit with you all, currently laying down. Oh, I hope...
It's weird to knit laying down.
I've done post-hospital knit. It's a weird time. I hope you've got something just that's absolutely joyful to knit on. Ugh. My eyes were doing just fine before we started, and then Phaedra crawled all up in your business, and I started laughing so hard I teared up a little bit. And now I've got stuff in my eyes, and I'm just going to keep tearing up a little bit, and that's how it's going to be.
All right. Crazy pants.
So in case anybody in here doesn't know what we're doing today, or anybody who's watching this later and doesn't know what we're up to, we're doing WIP Sprints today, so work in progress sprints. It's basically the Pomodoro method, if you've heard of it. It's 25-minute focus sessions on one project. So you pick a thing, and you work on it for 25 minutes and you're not distracted, you're not on your phone, you're not getting up to do stuff, you are focused on the thing for 25 minutes. And it's a really good way of sewing that thing together or repairing that hole or doing that part of the pattern that you really don't want to, because it's only 25 minutes and then you can put it down and never look at it again.
Things. Like all the tools set aside to pick up for a shawl collar. One of my lists today. Otherwise, I will put that off like nobody's business. I found my snips. I've been looking for my snips for like a month. They were in the bathroom. Why were they in the bathroom?
Why were your snips in the bathroom?
I have no idea. But I accidentally knocked over my Q-tip box, and then they fell on the floor, and that's how I found them. Which is usually how I find most things when I stop to think about it, is I knock something off and it hits the floor and I hear it. Okay, cool.
I mean, that's one way.
The way it's for me. Did I feel like a +5 high today in Winnipeg?
We did that yesterday. We got -5 today. We did like +10 yesterday, but we're at like -5 right now.
Well, we got that Alberta clipper coming in real hard and fast. Like Tuesday, Wednesday this week, it's supposed to dip down to like -30.
Oh, dang. We're supposed to go up to like +13 or something this week. Actually, I'm going to open this forecast. Let me look and let me brag about my nice warm temperatures. Tuesday +12.
That's fine.
Wednesday +11. But rain. It's going to like that rain snow junk. So don't be too excited.
Yeah. I'm more excited for the cold temperatures and snow, not so much for the potential ice storm coming our way. Oh
yeah, Winnipeg doesn't do ice storms well.
We do not. It is not something we handle with any grace at all. Snow we handle with some grace at least. And then we're in the national news because our water sewage pipe system sprung a leak for the better part of the month. Because of course it did.
Of course it did.
Everyone's running around going, well, why don't you fix it? I'm like, with what money, guys? With what money? They publicly release their budgets. They tell us where the money goes.
It's going to other things?
It's going nowhere. We don't have enough money, but we're not increasing anything, so. But you can't close anything down, and you have to offer more hours. You got to hire more staff, but you can't make anything more expensive, but you have to give them fair wages. And let's be honest, wastewater systems are not sexy. Nobody's going to fund them until something breaks, and then everyone's going to run around with their heads chopped off, which is exactly what they're doing now.
And the poor people that work there have been going, this is going to break. This seriously is going to break. And, oh, hey, look, guys, it broke.
Broke, yeah. Like, they'll have been giving out warnings for ages, but nobody would have paid attention to
But who reads the report?
They don't in any other field. Why would they in this field?
I feel so bad for the people that write the reports that nobody reads.
Oh, yeah. I'm just like, oh, dude. That's definitely.
And they can't even go, I told you so, because it's still going to be their problem to fix it.
Yeah. When they literally told you so in writing. In writing, they said this is a problem. But it's not a flashy, fun thing, so nobody wants to do it. So, well, here we are. Caused an ecological disaster. Go Winnipeg.
Also was saying, Jocelyn, I found that instant coffee. And we'll get some for our swap, but it might delay the shipping by a couple of days.
That's fine. I'm for everybody who's in Patreon memberships. We do a lot of stuff through Discord, and one of the things that we do is the occasional random. I look at the calendar and go, "Oh my god, it's been a while since we've done a yarn exchange. Let's do one." And this time around, it lines up with me and Diana's birthday next month. So Patreon members who chose to sign up are exchanging yarn. So I have to mail 2 packages because we were odd numbers, and it was my turn to double partner. Next time, it's Diana's turn to double partner. That way, everybody has somebody to mail something to.
Yep.
I have to mail to Germany and Norway.
Oh dear.
Of course they do.
Cost me $20 to ship yarn to you. You're only a province over.
I'm only a province over. And by me, I mean it will be prepaid, and somebody else will go take it to the post office because I have nothing but gremlins when it comes to stuff out of the post office. I will physically not be putting it in the mail slot.
Yeah, you've got mail curses or hexes or something.
Oh, God. It's just whatever. Okay, it's how it is. It's fine. I work around it. But I need to finish collecting stuff. I've got the yarn, but I want to put in some little extras and stuff. So I need to do that next week when I get paid. It's important. And the worst part is, guys, I work for myself. I set up my own paydays. I structured this stuff all on my own. And my boss is mean. She will not pay me out early. It must be on payday.
Suzanne was asking, about the block party pattern. The message you sent, I assume, on Ravelry is about the block party pattern? Or
yes.
Pattern bundle. You were saying about a pattern bundle that you got.
Yeah, that was on Discord.
Okay.
Which I am not currently looking at right now because I am on my phone doing something else at the moment. So there was a lot of bings this morning, so I suspect I should check Discord once we're done streaming because there's probably some stuff going on in the D&D chat thread today. There usually is Saturday morning.
Makes sense.
My Saturday morning is one of the table members' Saturday evening because he's in Thailand, so like he'll be sleeping right now. So he messages it during his Saturday evening to check to make sure that we're gaming on his Sunday morning because he literally rolls out of bed at 7 and jumps on a Discord call to play games, to play D&D with us.
Wow.
And time being what it is, it's our Saturday evening. But if he's got plans with his girlfriend, he tends to let us know on Saturday if he can make it or not.
Makes sense. Raspberry's winding yarn from Taylor's poncho that I ripped out. Ooh.
Oh.
Do you have new plans for the yarn?
Oh, new plans. Oh. So I was watching Louise this morning. I forgot to message Louise to remind her because she's got to work on her Sock Madness socks this afternoon. And I was like, well, me and Diane are streaming. We can keep you company while you work on your socks, right? Totally forgot to message her.
Is anybody doing Sock Madness in here? We should probably just get started, hey? What am I working on for my first thing? I'm soliciting ideas. I have 3 choices. For what am I working on for my first project? There's 3 choices. We've got I can keep working on the librarian. That's choice number 1.
That's a very high contender.
Choice number 2 is in this bag is the granny stripe blanket, so I can work on that. That's always an option.
Yeah. Or it is a personal passion project.
I can sew the armpits on the Steinkrieger so that it's finished.
I should say armpits, but I'm going to go librarian.
So
what I would love to be able to do is take our lives and make YouTube shorts out of them, because right there is a YouTube short. I'd love to say armpits, but I'm going to go librarian. Out of context.
Just no context.
Make a lot of sense. I'm going to vote librarian. Not that I don't want you to finish. I do want you to finish. I'm also working on a sweater. That's kind of just why I'm voting a sweater.
Well,
I'm gonna work on my sleeve.
We've got 3 votes for armpits in chat,
which is fair. They generally want to see you finish things far more than I do.
Asa's gonna work on the librarian and both blankets. Oh, Asa also votes librarian, but we're still 3-1 or 3-2.
I need to get to roughly 4 inches from the armpit so I can start my decreases.
All right, I think armpits are the winner.
Armpits are the winner? Okay.
I think armpits are the winner.
No, I don't want you right now, Phaedra.
I really wish there was a clipping function on YouTube Lives like there is on Twitch where it just like grabs the last 30 seconds where we're just talking about armpits. I really wish that was a thing.
Handy. That'd be handy. No, you have to eat your astronaut food. I know it's not what you want to eat, but you have to eat your astronaut food.
Astronaut food? Oh, the kibble?
Yeah, it's cat kibble. I watch Instagram Reels. I've probably watched too many Instagram Reels, if I'm honest. But it's that voiceover with the cat, right? And it's talking about humans, and there's 2 types of food that the human caretakers give. Astronaut food, kibble, dry food, or this glorious, glorious food in the cans you can't get into. Wet food. And we don't get the scrumptious, luxurious food till dinner time. We start asking about now.
Mm.
And why dinner time? Because she tends to overeat, and if she does that first thing in the morning, then she throws up on me. And I don't like cleaning that up first thing in the morning, so we moved our wet food to the evening.
Yeah, that's reasonable. All right, I'm going to start this timer, and then I'm going to catch up on chat real quick.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm going to keep working on my sleeve.
Sprint 1, 3, 2, 1, start.
Go. I'm going to be working on these sleeves tonight at D&D too, I think, because I could do the sleeve decreases like I should be doing as per pattern, but I'm going to do the sleeve decreases that I prefer. Especially given that I'm going to be wearing this like next to my skin. This is my simple summer tweed top down V-neck. And I really like how words coming out of my face.
It's nice when the words come out of your face, especially when they come out in the order you mean.
Oh, my word. It is so helpful when they come out in the order in which I intend them to be verbalized. Tristan of Dragon Horde Designs. I like her sleeve decreases a lot. I like how they fit and how they feel. So I sort of, if I'm ambivalent about the sleeve decreases on a pattern, or it doesn't have a very specific, it's a standard sleeve decrease, I opt for hers because I like her sleeve decreases best.
This is going to be way easier to catch now if I put this on needles.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get some needles.
Absolutely put this sweater on, and I'm still not sure I'm going to pick up the neckline to do those extra 3 rows of stockinette to do the roll, but I want to make it longer. It's technically long enough. I do really like how it's fitting, though. It's kind of like a semi-fit, but I want a tunic vibe. Like, now that I put it on, I want more of a tunic-y vibe, which means I have to lengthen the body, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Really not the end of the world. It does mean I need to pick up stitches this week somehow. We'll see how that goes. But I definitely want more of a tunic. Yeah, then I can toss it over my dresses and stuff, and it can sort of bunch up around my upper hips where my skirt material is, and just, yeah, give me that kind of slouchy structured look. That's what I'm vibing with this fabric. So I need to make some adjustments, which is fine.
I think I missed saying hi in chat to a couple people. Maritza and Tracy. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I think I've caught up on saying hi to everybody.
I didn't get to eat lunch because I got distracted.
Same. So I ate a Cliff Bar really quick before we started, and I have another one sitting here that I'll eat at some point.
I have raisins.
And I have coffee, but that doesn't count. Coffee isn't food.
So much, no. Coffee is not food. I mean, it is yum yum juice. It is yum yum juice.
I don't know if it's even like yum yum juice, but like, I don't know, I like it. But it's not like, I don't know. You know?
I do guess. I hurt my foot.
Mm-hmm.
I may have called my mommy to hurt my foot. I may have bugged today. Like, I've been bugging everybody this week because I've been going absolutely out of my mind. I am so bored, but my foot hurts. Asked if I could cash in my birthday dinner early. My hello. That's Phaedra jumping up from the floor to the computer desk and startling me.
If you suddenly go offline, we'll know why.
No, I'm on my phone. We're fine.
Oh, right.
If the phone suddenly goes sideways, we'll know why. Because it is plugged in. Because no phone will survive a 4-hour video stream.
Yeah, I'd be hard pressed for my year-old phone to do that.
Yeah, my batteries. That's not how they function. That's not what they're meant for. Oh, I called and asked if I could have my birthday dinner early because I really making food this week has been a trial. I've been sitting on the step stool in the kitchen because I can't be on my foot for any length of time. it's already awkward to make food in my kitchen. It's a galley kitchen. Could you imagine it with a step stool right in the middle? And I've been on a crutch for the most part of the week when I have been standing to keep the weight off my foot entirely while it heals. So my mom kindly said yes and let me do my birthday dinner early because that's what mom and dad do for both me and my sisters for our birthdays. They buy us dinner. It's obviously distance now because I live in Saskatchewan. We live in Manitoba. So my mom bought me a very fancy vegan meal. I ordered food from Roughage, which is I'm gonna say like high-end vegan restaurant because it's not like you don't dress up to go there. Does that make sense? Like it's not that kind of an attitude.
But it's
Some
like,
restaurants in the city you dress up to go to, otherwise you stand out oddly,
yeah.
and it's not good. This is not one of them, but we're definitely it's a vibe. I like the, but it is definitely vegan. So I had a very, very, very large salad. I mean, massive salad. But the primary reason is they've got a really nice dessert menu, and it's dairy free. It's dairy free, and Jocelyn's eaten there before, so she knows which one she can have. So I may have ordered like I had to break the salad up into 2 meals. Like that's how big the portion was. Like it's huge.
It's a heck of a salad.
And it had the dairy-free feta, and it had all the stuff that I like. Like it had the cream cheese stuff, and it had the green stuff, and it had the veggies, and it had a lovely dressing, and it had the fake cheese feta, and I like the fake cheese feta a lot, way better than the real cheese feta. So I've forgotten how much I like salads, but we're not quite. And I try to eat seasonally, right? Like I made the decision, like I had to put my money where my mouth was. If I was going to be concerned about the environment, I couldn't then go buy bananas in February. You know,
Not me over here buying bananas in February.
I had to start being conscious of how I was spending my money and what I was saying when I spent it. So I buy winter root vegetables in the winter, and I buy in-season vegetables otherwise for the rest of the year. So like I only eat bell peppers and cucumbers once we're into the growing seasons. I certainly stretch it farther than legit would actually exist, considering I live in Manitoba. But if it's wintertime, I buy diced tomatoes, not fresh tomatoes. Like, so it's like but I made that decision to walk that walk, so that's fine. I've forgotten how much I miss fresh lettuce. So I generally don't buy lettuce in the wintertime because that's not a winter vegetable. Garlic, onions, potatoes, turnips, cabbage, carrots. Like it's not like I'm lacking for greens. There's always frozen vegetables. And I
So
buy
I'm looking up how to do Kitchener stitch because I never remember.
No, I don't know if anybody ever remembers because every time someone says they're going to do a Kitchener stitch, the next words out of their mouth are I got to go look it up because I never remember. I might be wrong. There might be like one person in the back going, I remember, which good for you. I've never done Kitchener stitch. Probably the other reason I keep putting those armpits off.
No, it's not hard. I never remember what the pattern is.
Isn't it purl one off, knit one off?
Yeah, something like that.
Do I remember having never done it? That'd be hilarious. So I had a fresh salad. Oh, gosh, so good. So good, Diana. As it is, I'm trying to figure out how. It's the 10th of March is a Sunday. And it's the first league day for the Kill Team League for the group of guys I play Warhammer with. How to sales pitch it to convince the mysterious Mr. B that he needs to get out of bed early Sunday morning to join me for brunch for my birthday before we go for Warhammer. I don't know how. This man will sleep till 4 o'clock in the afternoon when allowed. So will Diana, mind you. Like,
I don't do till 4 in the afternoon, thank you, and that's only when I haven't slept.
Well, he stays up till dawn the wrong way more often than not if you let him. He really should have an overnight job.
If I'm staying up till dawn, I have not done it on purpose.
His sleep cycle is late morning through afternoon. He'd be so good at overnight work. I'm like, man, you'd be that one person who would just jive with that schedule. Because you like going to bed at 7 a.m. and sleeping until 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then you're up all night and you're happy. Like
Oh,
that's your
God,
happy
I've done
time.
this wrong.
Didn't you just start?
I did. I've only dropped one stitch, and I think I've already done it wrong.
Okay, this is boding well.
Yeah.
But I'd like to go for brunch for my birthday before I go play Warhammer. Also, it's my birthday. I like to celebrate my birthday. I am kind of a spoiled kid that way. It's a milestone. Not everybody survives 41 years of life. I did. I'd like to celebrate that. So I'm trying to figure out if there's a way for me to convince him to get out of bed and be at Stella's for 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to think about it way too hard, and then I'm going to look at him and go, it's my birthday. Can I make you get out of bed early? I'm pretty sure that's what's actually going to come out of my face. No, guys, he's my ex-boyfriend. He does not need to do any of these things. We are friends. And he tends to indulge my strange ways because I will let him go on for 3.5 hours straight about a Magic the Gathering card deck he's built, even though he knows I'm not his girlfriend and I'm no longer required to pay that much attention to hobbies we don't share as in depth as we do others. It's not that I don't like playing Magic. I do like playing Magic. I generally don't want to listen to the 3-hour-long deep dive on card choices anymore.
That's a very deep dive. Has he considered a podcast?
I've asked several times for him to put his voice to the internet. I begged. Like, people would enjoy this. Why is it just me? I am not the target audience for this. I don't know half of what you're saying, and I know how to play the game.
He's accusing me of gaming till early hours of the morning. That was one time. One time. That is not a common thing.
You do it less now than you have in the past.
Well, yeah, I'm in my 30s.
Yeah. That's just
on rare occasions it still happens, but they're very rare occasions.
Like even I have the occasional late night. My sleep cycle's been messed this week because I've been napping when my foot hurts too bad. So, like there's that as well, but it's not as often as it used to be. He'll probably indulge me and let me make him get out of bed and put on pants extra early Sunday morning. He'll grumble about it, not too badly, because he also likes Stella's. I want to go and I want to have a tuna salad sandwich and a salad and a piece of cake for my birthday. I have to go there anyway because I'm going to order from the bakery. I'm going to order a fancy bakery cake for my birthday as my treat to myself. So, I already have to go there that day to pick up said cake I'm going to be ordering.
Well, you might as well just stick around for breakfast then.
Just have brunch and breakfast at the same time, but I don't want to have breakfast alone because people look at me funny. And I can't tell who's looking at me funny. I just know I'm being stared at. And in my 20s, at least I could look at them. I could look back at them funny, like, what you looking at, Bob? Mind your own damn business.
Now
I can't do that anymore because I can't see them. I just know someone's looking. I can't do the whole
you just feel
over the glasses stare them down. Like, really? You just pay attention to your own table. Stay away from me. So, and I can't read menus by myself anymore. I mean, I'll take my Orcam, but he's kind of loud. Not that I need him at Stella's, but and I'll have a ride. And I mean, I legit could ask Mr. C if he would like to join me for brunch too, given that it's my birthday. Another ex-boyfriend, which would be hilarious. But he's got a little kid and a wife, right? Like, he likes to spend time with his wife and his daughter. I don't like interrupting that time if I don't have. And I will legit be seeing him anyway, because he'll be picking me up from Stella's to drive us to Warhammer. Because nobody in their right mind takes the buses in the city on a Sunday.
Oh, gosh.
Nobody. It is easier for him to drive in from outside of Voyager drive halfway through the city, pick me up, and take me to Warhammer than it is for me to get a timely bus on a Sunday. And I live in the
From
downtown core
downtown.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sunday
Yeah.
bus indoors. But don't worry, we'll have a paper master plan for improvement sometime this year. It's only taken them 3 years to do the survey or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, I'm hoping for useful Winnipeg Transit 2050.
At this point, yeah. Right? They did start their pilot. They had a pilot program that they are adapting to a permanent program, and we're starting to see more. I don't want to say police officers, because not police officers, more like first responders for the bus. So security staff, right, to deal with troublesome transit people or people who get belligerent at the bus drivers. So I'm excited to see that program go in full swing, because the bus drivers deal with a lot of garbage they should not have to. Should not have to. But we don't have manners anymore, so they have to deal with people being snobs, which I feel so bad for them. Like, are you kidding? Like, really? So I'm glad that is up and running. Now, legitimately, it's a lot of retired police officers or ex-military folk, people like in that industry. For good reason, they have the training for it.
Sorry, I'm concentrating really hard.
I can see this. I didn't understand that Kitchener stitch required that much brain pain.
I have to not mess up the pattern.
That's fair. I'm just sitting in the round, though I should check to see if I'm at 4 inches here shortly. I'm chatting happily.
I'm just chanting to myself. Knit off purl. April. Purl off knit.
That's fair. In April, I get to start having salads again, which will be really nice. Technically ahead of the growing season still for my area of the world, but closer in line with seasonal eating, outside of going to a restaurant. When I go to a restaurant, I'll just eat whatever I want. And yeah, brunch, I should probably do the pancakes, but they make really good tuna salad sandwiches, and I like the house salad a lot. And I can never bring myself to do the pancake. Well, that and I'll spill syrup down my shirt. Like, I just know me, and I have to go game, and I'll just have sticky shirt the whole day. It's just not a good idea. Not graceful. Because if I order the carrot cake from the bakery, then I can have a slice of the flourless chocolate vegan cake. It's a gluten-free vegan cake. It's really good. With raspberries, like the day of, and then I've got carrot cake for later, because quite frankly, it's my birthday. Of course I can have 2 pieces of cake. And their carrot cake freezes really well, so I can have it all pre-sliced up, and then I can bundle it up and tuck it in the freezer, and then I've got cake for weeks. I can pull out a slice, thaw it, and eat it. You're gonna pay way too much for this cake, people. And yes, I could make one at home. That's not the point. It's the same thing when people are like, why do you buy cut flowers? They just dry. You could just grow them in a pot. Not the point. Not the point. The point is I want pretty cut flowers in a vase, but I don't want them forever. I want to be able to change the flowers in the vase so that they're different, because I don't always want the same flower. Does that make sense?
It does. I've messed it up again. I should not be trying to do this while streaming.
Well, I'm sure chat's responding to me.
Oh gosh. Sorry, Jude.
You have to pearl up the knit off the pearl.
Susanna wants me to ask you why you called it a pattern collection, the block party pattern? Question.
Because it can be used for several different things. The pattern itself is a crochet throw, but it can be modified in the pattern into a pillow or a cushion or a rug. Like she's got it set up so you can do it for several different things. It doesn't have to be the throw.
Ah.
So it technically isn't a single solitary pattern. It is more than one pattern included in there.
Okay.
Also, like the designers, so I was checking out some of our other stuff this morning too. Not all of it, but I do like some of it. It's the same way when people are like, "It's this," I'm like, "Sure," but if you can make the pattern like a tin can's knit pattern, it's not tin can knits doesn't do patterns; they do collections of patterns because you're not making. Well, I mean, you might only make one, but you can make their sweaters and everything from newborn to adult male, multiple XLs, right? That's not one pattern. That is many patterns in one collection. Now their numbers are established, so for them to do it, it's easy. They've got their grading process figured out, but it is more than one pattern. Anytime those options are built in, it is more than one pattern. I was going to check, wasn't I?
Concentrated.
I am not on the right side to check. So I give credit where credit is due. It is more than one pattern. Because I know how much work it is.
Jude was saying, drank a new sleepy time tea this week. It didn't make me sleepy, and I got a sum total of 30 minutes sleep and felt wired the entire time. Some sleepy teas are like that. I tried a sleepy time tea one time. I tried it a few times trying to figure it out. It gave me nightmares.
Nightmares from a sleepy time?
Yeah. This one particular tea gave me like the weirdest,
like chamomile.
The weirdest dreams, like just straight chamomile. Great, perfect sleepy time tea. But I think this one had like catnip or something in it, which is also supposed to like chill you out or something. But no, this thing gave me like the most vivid, like not quite, they weren't quite nightmares, but they were like really vivid unpleasantness.
I couldn't tell you. Catnip makes my cat run around the apartment with her tail puffed out and then pass out hard for like 3 or 4 hours. So like it's doing something. But yeah, is it most sleepy time tea like chamomile plus something or chamomile? And it's not even that chamomile. It's just a calming decaf. It just settles everything. It gets into your system and goes, "Hey, let's chill." This isn't actually sleepy. It just calms everything down, so you can sleep.
Yeah,
but
and like that's generally all I need.
Insomnia is tricky. Sometimes I have insomnia.
Susanna's heading out to Tim Hortons back in about half an hour. We'll be here.
See you. We will. We're not going anywhere.
Elsa's asking, what kind of tea do you drink? Because you drink the sleepy time tea.
I do, but not to sleep. I drink a chamomile fennel tea, which is the nighttime blend from Stash Teas.
Oh, right.
Because chamomile and the fennel calm your digestive tract.
Okay.
I've drank it for years because I am very much aware that my digestive tract is a bit of a hothouse flower and requires babying at all times. Just fine. So long as I take my probiotics and I drink my chamomile fennel tea, I generally don't have a irritated system. And yes, I've been tested for things. It's just a whiny witch with a B. That's just how my digestive tract works. It's why I can't eat meat more than multiple times, but 2 or 3 times a week. It's where all of the allergic reactions occur. For food anyway. The chemical ones are obviously I touch it and then my hands fill up, but 90% of my allergic reactions and day-to-day issues come from my digestive tract because it is just a delicate flower, and I have a car horn going off. Hey, somebody must have just accidentally set their car alarm off. So the chamomile fennel, the probiotics, and when necessary, bubbles, because I don't burp well on my own. It's the weirdest thing to have to admit to the internet.
Like a little child?
It's not even a buildup. It's not even a buildup of gas. I'm just not good at it. But I'm like a small child, yeah. That's kind of how that works. As long as I keep to my schedule, it's all right. Downside is if I don't drink the chamomile fennel tea right after supper, then I'm drinking it too close to bedtime, and tea is a diuretic, so you have to get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom. That's what tea does to you.
Jude says the original tea I had valerium and lemon balm in it. The new one had berries. I could have taken over the world or sat a 4-hour exam on that 30-minute sleep. That's quite the elixir.
I was doing the opposite for you. All right. I got. This is the super scientific method of measuring, which is using my fingers.
It's alright. I'm doing the super scientific, slowly tighten all of my Kitchener stitches across. Whoops. Our WIP sprint is done, but I'm gonna finish... Perfect. I'm gonna finish making this side pretty.
I got to the point where I'm ready to start decreases. I don't technically count my rows for decreases either. I put a stitch marker in, and then I go up roughly 2 inches and I do a decrease. So this tells me I'm ready to do a decrease. And I never, ever, ever put down a sleeve when it's not at when I pick it up, do a decrease point. That way I never forget what it is that I'm doing. That is how that works. We'll put the sweater aside. And I'm going to look at my computer screen because I need to open up a pattern. So of course, no, that's not what I want to do. Go away. I want this button. Oh no. For some reason I decided to change that to something else. What was I thinking? Whoops, I just kicked you guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't do it.
Oh, it's so pretty. I made it absolutely seamless. Disregard this giant loop. I'm getting rid of that. But this part is absolutely seamless.
Disregard this giant section.
Oh, just disregard the part I haven't fixed yet. But the part I have fixed, perfectly seamless. I just can't see. There it is.
To find the knitting pattern I need. I started organizing my knitting patterns.
Hmm.
So now they're in like 3 places all over across my computer instead of 2, so that's helpful.
That sounds like that early stage of organizing where everything is everywhere and even less organized than when you started.
Yep. You in fact would be correct.
There we go.
No, why did you do... I don't want you full screen. I just wanted you closer to the top, you jerk.
Alright, I've got some ends to weave in still. But that is 1 armpit Kitchener together.
Okay.
Behold, 1 beautiful, perfect Kitchener armpit.
Oh, wait. Hang on. I gotta scroll back up.
Come on.
Oh, look at that. Well, that's not bad. 1 more sprint and you'll be so finished, it won't even be funny.
Yeah. So I still gotta weave in the holes on the end, and there's a little hole in the middle because that happened to be the end of the round at one point. So there's an end there I need to weave in as well, and that'll fix all the tension issues, and then the armpit will be perfect and seamless and beautiful. And no one will ever see it because it's an armpit.
I was like, people really shouldn't be that close to your husband's armpit. It's just my thought. Call me crazy.
Like, I might be if he goes for a hug in a particular way, but nobody else is ever gonna see.
Nor should they.
Asa says she's got yarn, needles, tea, chocolate, and now coffee for you.
Hot dang, I'm being spoiled.
Yeah.
Wow, take it. I like being spoiled. What am I doing? Downloading a pattern.
Nikki says, I just put 1.5 inches on the second sleeve of my simple summer top-down raglan V-neck in black yarn with rainbow tweed. I love that.
Rainbow.
You guys are very not so slowly convincing me that I need to make one of these sweaters too.
Not so slowly? It's a really lovely pattern.
Not so slowly.
It's a really lovely pattern.
Nikki says, beautiful armpit finishing. Thanks.
It is beautiful armpit finishing.
Okay, so my question is, for second sprint, do I do the second armpit? Or do I do something else?
Oh my god, cast something on. I'm bored. You need something new.
Cast something on? Does Chad agree I
Oh
should
my
cast
god,
something on?
She's killing me, guys. Something, anything, I
I
beg
can
of you.
also resurrect something out of the WIP bin that I haven't touched in a while.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you even, Chad.
Okay.
She's casting on something new. She's killing me. She's killing me. How do I find sweaters? Buy the pictures. There it is. I'm like, I do not have a ton of sweaters in
I don't
here
know.
with
Sandy
little
and
tiny
Nikki think I
humans.
should finish my second armpit.
Don't
Oh,
listen to them.
no,
They
but
don't know
also
what they're
agrees with you. Okay.
doing. Asa's clearly
Okay, we're
superior.
even. We're two to two.
Asa's sending me chocolate. How can we doubt in Asa? In Asa we trust. Come on now.
In Asa we trust. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm putting that down. And I'm going to put the stabby needle back in its home with the other stabby
Guys, you don't
things.
understand. The one thing she's got that she would cast on today, is for bonus content for you guys later. So I already know what she needs to cast on today. And I need her to cast it on because we have to record on Tuesday.
Okay.
I've not lost my mind.
All right. Tracy has very reasonably suggested that I do the second armpit in a later sprint.
I reasonably suggest that you were short of sticking your tongue out like you were doing a complex math problem for half second armpit after sprints.
All right.
Which I also feel is a reasonable thing because you were that was a struggle bus sort of situation going on there.
All right. I will
Your
cast on the
whole brain
thing for
was
the yarn
consumed.
review, which we have a video coming out about yarn reviews. Probably tomorrow.
Yarns.
Yeah. Is that going out early to Patreons as well?
Yes, please.
Okay.
We've already
so Patreons will get it tomorrow.
Let's release it to Patreon members early. We're trying to get in the habit of giving Patreon members the episodes every week early too.
Yes.
But that's reliant on me, not Diana, because I do the bulk of the hard stuff for that. Diana's got all of her stuff copy paste, plug and play. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. But it's okay, all the bonus content is her doing the bulk of the hard work, so now she understands.
It's a lot of editing. I mean, like, yeah.
And I do it weekly. On a defined timeline that I shortened voluntarily because I'm nuts.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
Shawl color instructions.
You didn't have to. Anyway, so we got the video explaining our whole yarn review process coming out tomorrow for Patreons, and I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday for everybody else.
Don't know. We don't have a defined release schedule for that stuff, so I have no idea.
This week, everybody will know about our yarn review stuff.
Yeah, so we want to do it, and we want to try new yarns, and this is an excuse to do both, so.
Yeah. Jude says, Clue 4 MCAL rows are long.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
They are.
Don't worry, they don't get shorter. Because we're sadistic. Sadistic? Masochistic.
Speak for yourself. My row, oh my god. Me and this camera tripod today. My row 6 clues are quite short. It's because it's an applied border edge. But my row 6 clues are quite short. It's not that many stitches in the row. You just...
My last clue, section ends up being pretty short, but the rows are long.
You feel like you haven't gone far because you're constantly picking up a stitch every other row and connecting what you're working on to your shawl, but that's not the point.
Yes, clue 7, yeah, because we had that rest week clue. Yes, we're talking about clue 7. Yes,
we're talking about clue 7. I apologize.
Yes,
you are correct.
We offset at a certain point. I need to find a hook for this because I'm crocheting.
We put in a rest week is what we did. You are crocheting that. I still haven't updated the final pattern out yet, so obviously I have not done any of that. I've been sitting in bed most of the week, griping because I'm bored, but if I move, my foot hurts.
You know, I'm a little... I still don't know exactly what it is I want to cast on, So I might do a couple of swatches
Sure.
just to
Get a
see
fabric
how
you
it
feel?
looks. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe
Do some
inspiration
swatches.
strikes, because I have a notion, but I'm like
Oh,
75% enthusiastic about it. So maybe if I do a couple swatches,
okay.
I'll get more enthusiastic about something else.
That's fair.
But we're
What's
suggesting
currently on the
5.5
plate
mil.
of I could do this or I could do this? I don't want to buy that. Where the heck is my
5
shawl
mil.
collar
Suggesting
instructions?
you were 5. You're close enough.
For the record, the screen is so
Are
blown
you
up on
okay?
this for me that'll read it at this distance that we're looking at a font size
You're 6.
probably 40 something. No,
You
maybe
okay?
30 something.
You're at 5.
Definitely out of the 20s at this point.
There we go.
Why? Because I can't figure out how to make my freaking PDF dark screen again. I figured out how to do it at one point, but I don't remember. I knit the pockets first as my gauge swatch. I already have 2 tiny, adorably gross, adorable pockets. I need doll collar. Doll collar. Where are those
It
instructions?
says I have a long cable on my interchangeables and I keep getting it twisted in knots. It does not help the twisting shawl fabric effect. No, it doesn't.
Not so much. Not so much. No.
I ended up using my longest interchangeable cable at the end. Still wasn't long enough. Like, I
It's
could
a
have
lot of
easily joined in the round and had excess fabric.
So many stitches.
Oh.
I really tried hard not to think about it. Though I did pull words. I have to stop saying so much. Ugh, gross. I had a thought. It ran away. I pulled the shawl off the
believe
needles
you.
and I have dropped a stitch. So
That's okay, I
my
dropped
shawl
2.
currently, my shawl is current. Thank God for lifelines. I'm currently sitting at clue 5 because I had to rip out all of clue 5.
I found
Thank
the end.
God. Thank God.
Okay.
So I need to redo those sections. That's great. But that has nothing to do with you guys and everything to do with the fact that I cannot see the stitches well enough to pick up from a finished shawl, drop stitches and make them disappear. I have to reknit the whole section. They're very long rows. I've not started. I'm in fact putting it off because I don't wanna.
I just found some like, why are these holes extra big, like fully through the next clue? And I'm like, I'll fix those after. I'm not going back now. It didn't affect the stitch count, so.
No, I went 5 or 6 rows above where the problem was. Dropped in another lifeline, which took 2 days because it takes forever for me to put a lifeline in. Snippy snippied, snippy snippied, and then just ripped back to section 4 at the end of the transition for section 4 to section 5. And I just need to reknit that first through apart. But it doesn't mean I have to graft, which, I mean, fair. I'm getting really good at it. I'm just slow at that many stitches. So I looked at it and I went, nope, I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate it. It's going to drive me nuts. I have to fix it. I just,
no, that's fair.
No.
I just have a couple of
Sometimes
extra large holes that I just need to sew up. So it's fine. You're never going to see it in the finished object. If it
was an extra large hole, I absolutely would just leave it. It messes with the whole pattern stitch.
Mine very fortunately did not.
After the mistake is just skewed. I'm like, well, many swear words later. Okay, cool. Fine. And I don't know if it's just, it doesn't look like I split a stitch. I think I just literally dropped a stitch off the needle and didn't even notice, which is absolutely feasible for me to have done.
Oh, completely reasonable. I'm not even entirely sure. I obviously made the same mistake twice, but I don't know what that mistake was. It has something to do with it's just off screen over there. It was clue.
It couldn't even be said the same for the textured sections because I made all sorts of mistakes in the textured section. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. But because I can see what the lace patterns are supposed to be. If the holes aren't right, drives me up the wall.
My clue 6 that has the like, it involves knitting 3 together through the back loop, and the 3 that you're knitting together is yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, and I just
That'd be weird.
dropped a stitch in there a couple of times.
It's fine. Yeah, no, it's textured I can usually avoid, but random holes I can't. Just they show up wrong, and I can't. If it messes too much with, I can't. Which is hilarious because like if you look hard at my section 3, it's the only consistent thing through the whole thing is my garter bumps. Which is fine. I don't care.
It's fine.
Why?
I guess I should start our next sprint, hey?
Sometimes I would knit the garter bump row twice instead of once, which just messes off your stitch counts and turns my broken ribbon to moth stitch. Whoops. It's fine. It felt lovely and it definitely fit the vibe of the section, so I left it. I was like, no,
it's fine. It's an artisanal detail, as long as it doesn't mess anything up.
Somebody else will also do this. It's not a problem. It still looks good. That's the important part.
Oh, Liz is in chat. Hey, Liz.
Good, hey, Liz. I can't. If it doesn't look good, I have to pull it out. If I can ignore it, just ignore it.
I'm gonna start sprint number 2.
I'm reading instructions on making a shawl collar.
All right, 3, 2, 1, sprint.
Oh.
I'm knitting a couple of swatches to figure out what it is that I want to make out of this yarn. That's what I'm doing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I already know
10,
what I'm going to make out of mine,
12,
so.
13, 14, 15.
Separate the work.
20. And a bit.
Learn how to read instructions. Yes, the button band and the shawl collar worked at the same time. I figured that part out.
Completely unintentional, but the 5mm needle I had handy happens to be bright pink, which goes very well with this, like, shades of purple yarn, and it's making me very happy.
Good.
It's aesthetic.
5 sections. Oh, shawl collars. Okay, so here's the thing. Everybody knows I'm absolutely aggressively jump on the soapbox about gauge swatches.
Uh-huh.
And not everybody is. I know something that I never, ever, ever do, and every single set of instructions always tells me to do this. I never use a smaller needle for ribbing. Ever.
It does make a difference.
I just don't do it.
You also knit extremely tight, so it probably makes less of a difference for you.
Do I ever? Kind of aggressively tight. I'm still laughing about my sock gauge now that I know what it is. Fair enough. Oh,
4, 6, 8,
so I was
10.
reading comments from last week's episode, week before episode. Somebody kindly told me how many squares I was going to be making approximately. Why did you do that? Now I don't want to work on it.
2, 4, 6, 8,
really
10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Yeah, that seems good.
Okay. Right front.
Oh. Knit and Crochet is in chat. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hello to you. Join us for some crafting focused time, in that it's utterly unfocused.
Pick up and knit approximately. You've got to be kidding.
Approximately? Who's approximate?
I hate that word. They want you to pick up approximately 3 stitches in every 4 rows.
I guess that is approximate.
So locking stitch marker. Ending.
The ball band said 5.5 rather than 5, but I only have 5s handy. I don't know if I have 5.5s. Well, I'll probably do in my closet, but I can already tell that this is going to be a little bit tight. Yeah. It said 5.5 for both knitting and crochet, so this is going to be a touch tight, but I mostly want to see how the colors play.
The colors are going to change with your needle change gauge size because it changes how much yarn you're using.
Well, yeah, but I want to... Does it have like a gradient thing? Does it do like a micro stripe? I want a gist of what the fabric's going to do.
Okay, so micro striping is going to depend on how many stitches around. So it depends on what you're making. I know I'm
I
blowing
almost
all of
wonder.
your pretty vibes out the window with my logic. I will shut up now. Remove stitch
No,
marker.
I want like the vaguest gist of what it's gonna do. I know it's not going to do the exact same thing when I change needle sizes. That's fine. I want a gist because it's hard to tell what it's gonna do in the ball. I'm looking at it now. I'm like, are the color changes distinct enough for a planned pooling project? Just something I've never done.
Ooh, I love the. I'm gonna go back to my favorite impressionistic art flow vibe that planned pooling gives you. It's got like that whole Jupiter spot. I like that Eye of Jupiter storm vibe, where like you see the storms in Jupiter. They just sort of.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me that kind of vibe. That's why I like to plan pooling. Just oh my god, stop kicking the tripod. So instruction heavy. I just want to pick up stitches and finish this bloody baby sweater. So I have to pick up the button band section with an even number. I had to pick up the shawl collar neckline with an odd number of stitches. In the section. Oh my god, they have it sectioned off in so many sections. I don't even have that many free stitch markers. I'd have more free stitch markers, but I'm currently misplaced my giant bag of stitch markers. No, I don't know where it is. Guys, that is not how
Maybe it's in the
things work.
bathroom near your snips.
You know what? Would not surprise me if that's where it ended up. So I can't even work on this because I'm going to need 5 stitch markers, and I don't currently have 5 free stitch markers. Cool, I'm going to find something else to work on. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to close this very bright screen. I don't want to pay for Adobe. It's so big of a program.
It seems unnecessary, or like it should be unnecessary.
It's just such a beastly program for no reason. But it has dark mode when you own it. And yes, I could add yet another free program and push 6 buttons and go over here and turn sideways and use my left pinky raised in the right manner. Sometimes it's just nice to pay for a thing so you don't have to do all that nonsense.
It does feel a little bit like, you've got to, light the right incense and circle counterclockwise twice and clockwise once while chanting the right thing. And
like, I already do that for my faith, thank you very much. I shouldn't have to do that for my project. For my hobbying. My hobbying should not require me to do that. That's how that works in my brain. Oh my god, what is the name of that pattern? I'm asking the wrong people. It's not specific enough.
You're gonna have to be mildly more specific.
I'm gonna use this time of my life to Asa bought it for me. It's a crocheted color work cardigan.
Ooh.
It was ages ago she bought it for me, and my brain
was
just
that the fiel, the something like that? Fragile.
I can hear Asa yelling at you right now.
It was something. I think it was.
I have
something,
a lot of patterns.
I don't know. You could also be thinking of a completely different one.
No, we're thinking about the same thing. You started trying to say the name, and my brain also started trying to say the name, and that was going poorly.
I don't specifically remember what the name was. I'm pretty sure it started with an F, though.
It starts with an F, I think. It was. Oh my god! Did you know?
Huh?
I have the hot tub neck pattern. I've already made and finished one of those. Did you even ever put one on the needles?
One what?
Hot tub.
Hot tub?
Got it specifically because it's IKEA instructions.
Oh, the huge tube.
Huge tube.
The huge tube. No.
And I've already made one. I'm just scrolling through going, I have way too many patterns. No, I've made that one. 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 Okay.
Yeah, no, I
purchased too much.
haven't.
Oh, is Jen in chat? I was wearing the mittens she made me.
I have not seen Jen in chat. Oh, also suggesting is it Winterfjell?
It may be that one. I will know it when I see it. Right now we're scrolling. I have a lot of patterns. I just scrolled past a pair of color
I also
work.
sent a link.
Uh,
I'm clicking on the link.
that is
I think that's the one I was thinking of.
Let's
But
travel to the Discords. Oh, where did it
I'm
get
pretty sure
linked?
that's the one I was thinking of.
Wouldn't have been the private messages.
But it's got like sort of a diamondy pattern across the shoulders.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the Fjell cardigan, Fjell, by Tatiana.
Yep, that's the one.
That's the one.
I wanted to open it up. Oh,
Winterfjell is Skandir, not this one. This one's just Fjell.
Fjell.
Also, how bad is my pronunciation? I'm super guessing.
Super guessing.
Also sent it to you on Discord.
Beautiful, thank you. It was the name I'm looking for because I can't look up the pattern in my flipping library if I don't know what it's called. The one I'm thinking, because of course I'm thinking. And before anybody asks, it's because I have all of my knitting patterns, my crochet patterns, and my sewing patterns under the patterns folder. So I had to add 3 additional folders into the patterns folder to separate knitting, crochet, and sewing, which I'm going to subdivide those folders into tops, bottoms, skirts, dresses, like accessories. Like I have to start because I have too many. I can't go through and just know from the name because not a lot of these names they're like numbers series.
Yeah.
And my font is so large, sometimes I'm only getting half to a third of what the pattern is, so I can't always find it. So I need to organize. It's getting to the point where it is becoming unwieldy. But now that I have the name, I can go see if I have it. I should have it because I've read through it before. Oh, the fall collection DK sweater set. That's the Halloween sweater.
Okay. 5mm is not bad for this at all. I take it back. 5mm is just fine.
Flax is definitely sure. I don't remember what that even is. Awesome. Nope. Don't have it here. Hey, did I put it into the crochet cards? Remember? My life is too complicated for my own good. Over here.
I'm gonna see if I can get a real size swatch out of this in this time.
Let's just download another version of it because what I need is multiple downloads of patterns. Which, oh my god, I have so many multiples of things.
Oh yeah, I do that too. I'm like, I can't find. I don't know if I ever downloaded this thing, so I'm gonna download it again, drag it into the folder, and oh hey, look, I did already have it because it was named something weird. I have zero pattern organization.
I need to make adjustments because I absolutely cannot do this anymore. I can't find anything, and it's starting to irritate me.
I just have everything in Ravelry, and it tells me if I have it, and then I can try to find it in the folder. Or I just download it again. It's digital, it doesn't take up much space.
Crochet pattern.
The problem comes when I buy patterns on platforms that are not Ravelry, so I have to remember to go back into Ravelry and mark that I have it.
That is another thing, hey?
Mm-hmm.
In theory, I didn't download the non-English version of that. We'll find out in a moment. I've got tons of sewing patterns, like 40 on my computer at last count.
Oh, that's a lot.
And they're a series of numbers and letters with words attached to them. But sometimes the entire pattern is sleeves or pockets or to make alterations to a thing or a collar detail or, insert lace instructions for a specific insert lace piece. So it's like some of it's 18th century, some of it's 19th century. So I Some of it's modern. I need to sort those because I don't know if I'm opening up my petticoats, my corsets, my walking skirts, or my maxi dress from the 70s. Jocelyn needs to get that sorted, people. It's a problem for me.
I don't have that problem. I just have
Problem.
a giant folder of all of the patterns.
I need to sort them so that I can actually use the silly things. And I would like to use them. Because my printer broke late last year, broke and I could not fix it. I spent a good 3 or 4 weeks trying to fix it. So I need to take the printer to the recycling depot because I don't want that going in the wrong place. It is important for it not to go in the wrong place. And I gave the last of my printer pad papers to Erin because she has a commercial printer, which makes sense, right? Like,
Yeah.
given the volume of printing that she does. And she's like, yeah, for like the 4 or 5 patterns that you're looking to have printed, she's like, just give me the paper and I'll print them. There's nothing. So I need to figure out which 4 or 5 I'm missing from the 40 I have and get them printed. And I have to be careful because I've started buying patterns the last couple of years in AO1 sheet sizes, which requires me to take them to Staples to get them printed, but then they're printed on the huge and there's no taping involved.
That probably helps.
It literally prints, which helps me so much. Do I pay like money to do that on top of the pattern? Yes. And sometimes it's worth the extra $10 at this end to not have to wait 4 weeks to have a tissue paper pattern sent to me, which is
Well, that was
getting
printed
too
on not
useless.
tissue paper, so it probably lasts a little longer.
Whereas I get it printed on paper, and if I like the pattern, I will, as absolutely mind-numbingly task it is, I will glue down the pattern to either hard construction stuff or cardboard. I tend to pick cardboard, heavy duty stock paper and stuff. And I will cut it out so that it's thick and I can put it down and it's like a template and I can run either a pair of scissors or a rolling cutting right next to it for the patterns I
will speed things
go
up,
back
yeah.
to all the time. Yeah. Only ones I reach for 4 or 5 times, then my brain goes, put those bad boys on. Like my corset template is on cardboard so that it is raised. So I'm butting right up against that raised edge and just cutting my lines. Because a core corset is a core corset is a core corset.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to that solid basic pattern all the time. So, and I'm thinking, given the dresses I've been making, I'm going to have to do the same for my dress patterns because I've been making a lot of the same dress. I've been looking at it and slowly working through them for the summer. So, and I'm out of time to put those projects off because I have a lot of clothes mending. Does anybody want to see me do mending and try different mending techniques? That's something we'd be interested in. Is that something I should probably put on a different YouTube channel? Probably.
It's crafty.
Technically, I think this cardigan is done in fingering weight yarn. I don't care.
Just math it, figure it out.
Pretty much. Well, oh no, I have to make a smaller size and a thicker weight yarn. That's the worst.
Mm-hmm. Hardship.
I'm trying to use up yarn I pulled from other projects, things I want to get dealt with and done, and I have a lot of a navy blue wool in DK, and I have some Briggs and Little in DK Sport in a white, and I think this would look really good together. So I might be doing that. This is not what I should be looking at. March for the Fiber Friends is going to be lace. And I am absolutely going to be making a crochet lace thing. Oh my god.
What sort of a crochet lace thing?
I don't know, but I'm going to do something crochet lacy. Maybe a top. Ooh, a top. That'd be nice.
That could be nice.
A top would be quite lovely. What's my gauge? I can't mess with stuff until I know my gauge, people. Yeah, I can't do any calculations for any of this. I did the wrong, didn't I? Yes, I downloaded the wrong version. Of course. Every freaking time. I can't read non-English, so I of course download non-English.
Well, yeah,
So
naturally.
I'm watching a thing on Netflix, like you do. And I like to watch series. I like to binge watch series. Specifically binge watch series. And I'm watching an over-the-top cop drama. Absolutely ludicrous as all baloney butts. I actually have to ignore a lot of the garbagey script writing and stuff because just ridiculous. Absolutely daft as all get out. Unbelievable to the extreme. Why do I watch it? Because the base concept is a old criminal gets in touch with his daughter, not daughter. I have no idea where they're going with that thread. I'm not that invested. Anyway, it's a old school, old time, big honcho, top 10 FBI criminal working with the FBI. This is why my brain is like ridiculous, right? I watch it because all of the villains are also old guys, which means I'm seeing a plethora of incredibly talented older male actors playing bad dudes. They are the best part of the series. I don't care about the stupid drama that's ridiculous or the characters you can't connect with because really they're just absolutely so cliquey. It's teenage dramas have more depth to them. I can't pay attention to any of that garbage nonsense. Love that they have some ethnic diversity in the cast. That's delightful to see. I watch because how often do you see Brent Spiner play an evil mastermind? And he was a guest. He was there for one episode. He was just the bad guy of the week.
Nice.
And you just see them come on and come off, and they're assassins, and they're like, they kidnap people and they're mean people, right? Like they're playing bad guys, they're playing bad dudes. But it's delightful. Like his torturer asks for the weirdest things off screen to torture people with. Like just make it. Your whole brain goes, what? When he comes out and he goes, he's ready to talk and does some sort of quippy one-liner, and as he's pulling his oxygen tank behind him, settle. Yes, so much. I am here for the bad people in that show. That is why I watch. I could care less about the FBI people. It is the evil villains that just.
Okay, what is the name of this show?
It's called The Blacklist. It is just ridiculous. I'm several seasons in and I can't stop watching. The premise is absolutely
which streaming service is it on?
Netflix. And I can't stop. It's the bad guys. I'm there for the bad guys. I could care less about everybody else, but oh man, the bad guys. It was like Brent Spiner's bad guy was something like he had to. Why in the world can I not, for the life of me, figure anything out today? My brain is just fried. I reopened the pattern that I downloaded the wrong version of.
Good job.
Doing great today.
I just realized my camera's listing again. I'm gonna fix that when the sprint's done.
Okay. Anyway, one of the FBI crew had to go to this black web hacking competition. Brent Spiner's character waited till like the winner had been announced from this competition to work with this guy. And he kidnapped him to do some intense internet coding hacking stuff so he could break a dude out of prison. And I was just like, this is ridiculous to the extreme. But Brent Spiner is a very good actor, and he played bad guy very well. That's what I'm there for. I'm just like, do I know this bad guy? And then I have to go find out. Like by episode, I have to track down the actor because they are very good. I'm just like, no. My whole enjoyment out of the whole thing is the old white dude. Pick the old white dude, doesn't matter, you get several in the show. The old white dude, that's the part I like. They're just so good and so like Mr. Kaplan, who's a female. It's so good. People my age or younger is just dumb. They're just dumb. and suffer from the same problem a lot of adult characters in any format suffer from, and that's that we never bloody well learn or evolve at all, which is just takes me out of everything. Takes me out of everything.
Zero character
I
development?
hate that. Zero character development. Why do you read teenager books? Well, I read young adult because the young adults are allowed to grow up and learn things. We don't let adults do that in adult novels 9 times out of 10. And that drives me up the wall. Like, but I learned stuff. I am not what I was when I was 31. Like, I've learned things. Come on now. Come on now. I also discovered a website I'm doing a 30-day free trial on that is spicy.
Oh.
Like, not for children or husbands spicy.
Oh.
I, of course, nosedived right into the super spicy end of the spicy thing, because that's what I do. It's an audio format, but I think it might be too spicy for you, my dear. Like, my brain's like, oh, hello. Okay.
Dare I ask?
Sure. It's romance and erotica.
What's the
Dipsea.
Sprint done.
DIPSEA, and I warned you all in advance. Heads up, fair dues warning. When I say spicy, I mean
It's spicy. It's full spice. 5-alarm chili.
For headphone bedroom consumption only. It is spicy. I listened to a podcast called Reading Glasses. I know it sounds like a segue. It's not a segue. I've listened to Reading Glasses for years. They are obviously about books. That's why I listened to them. They had a link for a 30-day free trial of the subscription service, which I absolutely am taking advantage of to see if I like them enough to stay with them. And 24 hours in, the answer is yes. We'll see how I feel at the end of week 3. When I've burnt through a bunch of the material on the site. But I mean, like, I'm also, like, I also want a classic literature. There's a group of people who are converting classic literature into audiobook formats, and there's a subscription service for that. It's like $5 a month, probably six something after taxes in Canada.
Nice.
But it would give me access to a ever-growing collection of classic literature that has been adapted to audiobook format. What in the world? Oh, people are messaging me. That's fine. So I want that. Like, I put it on my birthday wish list because I love to listen, and I listen to books faster than they can be published. But I'm also pretty sure I'm going to take a hardcore look at Kobos and Kindles this year because the tech has gotten good enough that I think I can make it accessible enough I can start reading ebooks again, which will let me increase my reading consumption. But I will have to commit to Kindle or Kobo because I want the proper ebook instead of just a tablet that I make into an e-reader. I'm just going to get a e-reader. So I need to price note compare, options compare, tech compare, accessibility compare, review compare. This is why I'm like, I'm going to do that with part of my tax return because it's going to take me forever to do all of that research.
I'm trying to figure out if this color contrast is strong enough for plan pooling, and I'm feeling like not quite.
Not quite?
Not quite. It's nice, but it's not. It'd be a very subtle effect, and I'm not sure it'd be worth the effort. So I'm not going to do plan pooling. But
don't do it.
Just general like bits of color. It's nice. It's on this particular size of a needle, it worked out that the darkest purple got bordered by the lighter shade of purple, so it kind of has like a bleed effect, I guess. I don't know. It like fades out, so it makes like a spot, but it like fades out. So it's not a hard spot.
Bad.
Yeah. So knitting is definitely an option for this one.
Okay. Now that I've opened up the patterns that I actually need.
Did you spend this entire time just trying to open the right pattern?
I spent this entire time reading patterns because I read the Gramps cardigan pattern and I don't have 5 free stitch markers because I don't know where my big bag of stitch markers is. So I can't do that. So then I started looking for the Alfred thread gel. Okay, listen. And I'm going to make it in a DK weight instead of a fingering weight, so I need to do a gauge swatch and size down because I obviously don't want to make my size in a larger weight yarn. It'll be too big. So I need to do a gauge swatch, probably a couple, I suspect, in the end to find the fabric I like and then pick the size from there, which is what I normally do. But yes, I spent the entire sprint looking at patterns. If you really want to know, the answer to the question is yes. Why? Because I literally have bags of just reclaimed yarn and odds and ends that I'm desperate to get used up. I'm so tired of having all of this scrap stuff floating around.
Right, I was gonna fix my camera because it's tilting and angling in strange ways. Let me fix this.
I literally have this bag just full of small balls of reclaimed yarn. That is DK held double in this wonderful navy blue color.
There we go.
In this wonderful, wonderful color, right?
And
a nice woolly color that I literally could turn into a cardigan because this is doubled. And I have, this is just full, absolutely stuffed full. If I'm able to extend it, and I can extend it out with some of that white DK that I have, or even possibly the red that I have, because I can make bigger color chunks at the bottom of the sweater for things to extend lengths and stuff. So I'm not worried about the length or the yardage, but I would like to have this bag back. That's what I would like. To do that, I need to use yarn in it.
Alright.
I need more cardigans, more tops. I'm thinking I'm going to do the Como top, which is that tank top I started the other year, but the yarn wasn't right.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm going to gauge swatch for it in linen and make that my spring craft along.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Try that because I've got all that lovely linen I tried for a couple of things for, but it hasn't quite worked yet. So I'm going to try knitting a gauge swatch for it.
All right.
The linen tank top would be cool.
I'm going to work on the librarian. See if I can use up this little bit of yarn, because then I need to wind more yarn, so I probably only have one sprint of this thing.
Not a sweater.
I need to wind more yarn.
Shawl. Should I work on my Endless Summer Adventure shawl or my Star Trek Find Your Fade shawl?
I'm going to vote Star Trek. We'll see what chat says.
Okay.
Raspberry is saying, when looking at your e-reader options, make sure to check what works with your library. Mine only works with Kobo.
My library sucks monkey butts, so I don't care.
Doesn't work with anything?
No, it's the Winnipeg Public Library system. It's freaking 52 weeks to wait for anything. Unless it's top 40 fiction. I haven't read top 40 fiction in years because it's boring. So I don't read it. If it's a genre, if it's a romance, if it's Canada Reads, I have been on a wait list for a fantasy novel for 2+ years in ebook format. My library system, that's monkey butts. Because I don't read top 20, top 40 fiction. I don't read mystery thrillers. I don't read the corner. I don't read the super generalized fiction anymore, and I haven't in years.
My longest
I read a lot of corner, and I have eaten through all of the audio romance novels. I've already read everything my library has to offer. I've lived in this city for a decade. I have already listened to everything this library has to offer, and I can't read print books anymore. So I'm specifically looking for something that lets me get
several months is what it says.
It's because I'm either going to get the Kindle Unlimited or the Kobo Read and Listen subscription, which will let me consume literature as fast as I do. Guys, I go through 2 to 3 books a week, and I am not the fastest reader I know. And we're not talking novellas, we're talking 6-7 hour audiobooks, which is a standard size audiobook. This week alone, I have reread We Are Legion, We Are Bob, All These Worlds, and I'm literally halfway through book 3 of the Bobiverse series. Again.
Oh, wow.
And I
Those
don't
aren't
sleep to it. It's
insignificant.
just those are decent sized novels. Everything is audio
No, it's
consumption, and I
literally this
start
one.
from the moment I get up to the moment I go to bed. I am listening to something, and if it's not a podcast or the radio, it's a book. All day, every day. I think my largest breaks is to talk with you guys and Diana and D&D. Like if I'm out walking, my GPS instructions interrupt the book I'm listening to, or if I'm on the phone with my mom. All the time. It's just me. There are no children. There is no husband. It's just Phaedra. And unless she wants something, she doesn't pay attention to me. She's a cat. She's a
Yeah,
cat.
my few months of living by myself, yeah, a lot of audiobooks happened.
A lot of it, because I have the time, so why wouldn't I? And I don't like. I'm watching The Blacklist, but I can't tell you the last time I sat down to watch a TV series. I'll binge the occasional anime stuff too. I'll watch that. But like, I will protest reread Bridgerton, Romancing Mr. Bridgerton when season 3 comes out on Netflix, and not watch it, just on principle. Just on principle.
Jude says, missed the time when I had the chance to go through multiple books per week.
It just depends on how your downtime structured and where you choose to spend your time. That's all it is. Like, you choose where your free time is spent, and you have more of it than you would think, dependent on your children's ages. Because at some point they start wanting to do their own thing, right? But a lot of people choose to watch television or do other things with their downtime. I choose
Scroll
to
on
read.
social media. Cough. What? That's not me. I don't do that.
I don't do that.
I know.
I think
I
you'll
do.
know if I've fallen down Instagram for 20 minutes or so, because a lot of reels get sent to other people, and then I get bored and I get off. I don't.
All right, I'm going to start this here third sprint. So we're sitting at coming up on 3 o'clock.
Which one? Did my Choose Your Own Adventures or did my Endless Summer Adventures win, or Star Trek?
Nobody said anything, so I vote Star Trek, therefore I win.
Therefore you win. Okay, that's how that works.
Raspberry says, we have Kobo Plus, it's okay.
Yeah, my mom has Kobo Plus. She likes it. I think she also has Kindle Unlimited. I'm not sure. No, Kobo Plus. Oh, I think I'm going to transition.
Okay. All right. Jude says, building work, DIY building work. I put a podcast on, but I end up not listening to audiobooks, so I have no idea what's going on, so I have to sit. Yeah, so I have to sit to read and actually read. That's
right
fair.
Side of a transition.
I haven't figured out how to. I haven't figured out how to read and knit at the same time yet. I hate because I keep all the things I'm knitting right now require that I look at a pattern, or it's crochet, which I can't do without looking, and all of the holds that keep coming up are for ebooks and not audiobooks, because everybody's got the audiobooks on hold, so it's always the ebook that comes up first, so I end up reading that, but I have to read it.
I pay for my Audible subscription, and I buy extra credits, and I absolutely love that, because then I don't have to flip and wait for anything. If I want it, I can just go get it. And hot dang, if that isn't just the best thing for me.
I've been wanting to reread A Court of Thorns and Roses, but that's the one that's I'm several months on hold for, because they have 2 ebook copies and 1 audiobook copy, and I put holds on all of them, and they're all several months because there's like 300 people per copy. So I'm like, maybe I should just buy it.
Buy it. It's Sarah J. Maas. Just buy it. Sarah J. Maas is a powerhouse of a romantasy author, and she's hit mainstream. Just buy it.
I probably should.
Her ACOTAR series is quite good and quite a good intro to romance fantasy, which is a genre. It's called romantasy.
Yeah. No, like I read it last year, and I want to reread it.
Oh yeah,
I've been seeing all these things about. I'm gonna start the timer because otherwise I'm gonna keep chatting.
Start it up. I'm just looking up the transition section.
But I've been
I
seeing on TikTok there were
remember.
there's these companies that run these like fantasy balls, and they've been doing ACOTAR themed balls, and I'm like, oh my god, that sounds great, because there was this one in London, and so I saw a whole bunch of TikToks about it, like that sounds amazing. And then there's a company that's putting one on in Edmonton. I'm like, oh my god, how can I get to Edmonton? And no, they like sold out so fast, but they're coming to Toronto at some indeterminate point in the future, so I'm gonna go to the Toronto one, which is gonna be amazing.
You need to make a really good costume.
I know.
You don't even sew. This is going to be an interesting trial
Oh
for
no,
you.
I'm going to trade in the tech salary for the for having somebody else sew me a costume. I'm not even gonna try.
Fair, fair. Yeah, no, they would. They're the big. They're ACOTAR's the big mainstream thing right now. Just buy books.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do
Like,
that. I'll just
even better if you started with the dramatized version. I own them in audiobook. I own them in ebook. I'm probably gonna buy them in the dramatized audiobook version.
oh my god, with like
I'm
voice
gonna
actors
own
and
3
stuff.
copies of this one type of book. That's what I do. That's how much of a book person I am. I will own multiple copies of the same book. Because it's
This
different.
says Nick.
But I want
Oh wait, hang on.
the dramatized.
Liz was saying Nick Companion and audiobooks were great. Yes, I just need to have audiobooks. I do have audiobooks. I have so many ebooks out from the library right now that I need to, read them before I have to return them.
Which is the part I love about owning them. I don't have to return diddly fart all. It's mine.
Yeah. Well, it seems like I would spend so much money on books that I only read once if I didn't just get them from the library. So it's like, if I'm going to read them twice, then it's like worth buying them. But then also my bookshelf is basically a giant TBR, because when I moved, I got rid of a lot of the books that I'd already read.
Well, yeah,
Because I wasn't
really
planning on reading them again. So, and moving books is heavy. But now I'm like, I'm not planning on doing another giant move anytime soon, so maybe I can like buy books that will make my inner teenager extraordinarily happy. What am I doing? I'm doing a right twist.
Love. I spent decades collecting all the books I had, and I've had to let them go because I can't do physical print anymore. And I watch Bookstagram and I watch booktubers and stuff, and I have for years. And I miss having bookshelves like they have bookshelves, and I had bookshelves like they have bookshelves. On the Kindle or the Kobo, whatever I buy, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to fulfill the same thing, and that's fine. I have to just adapt to the fact that I cannot support authors by buying their books the way I would like to. I have to buy the digital versions, whether I want to or not.
Jude says it takes up way more space than you think. Yeah, I know, but like, there's something about living in a library.
Well, Diana can tell you, when we first met, I had bookcases and bookcases of double-stacked hardcover novels. Like,
oh
yeah,
you had your entire
hardcovers.
Your entire space was lined with bookshelves.
Wall-to-wall bookcases, and it was just crammed full of books. And I had started to slow down because print was getting difficult when I met Diana. If I hadn't had the RP kick in the way I had, I would absolutely still be reading. My mom still outreads me most weeks. To be fair, my mom's retired, so she can do whatever she wants during the day. And I need to tell her about the very spicy subscription thing I'm trying for 30 days, because she's introduced me to romance novels when I was a teenager. The Bridgerton series that you have is my
mom even picking up a romance novel.
You have my Bridgerton books, right? Yeah.
I do have yeah. I've been reading them.
Yeah. They're my mother's Bridgerton books.
Oh.
My mom bought them when they were new paperback. That is how long we've had those Bridgerton books. Probably why I get so nerd rage angry at the stupid changes they made.
They changed a fundamental thing about the main character in like the first episode of season 1, and like it didn't even add anything. In fact it took, because then they had to do this whole convoluted thing to like put it back the way it had to be for the story to work.
Just ridiculous. No,
It
I'm
was
not
dumb.
impressed. I'm also not impressed she's a blonde. She's not supposed to be blonde. She's supposed to be brunette. She's not supposed to be the diamond of the season. She's supposed to be the girl next door. Like, all of the things that
It's
made her her, they
it's
took
the
from
diamond
her
of
and
the
they made
season
her
thing
insanely.
that she
Yeah.
wasn't. Yeah, like the whole deal is that she's
She's
not the.
She's not. She's the
She's not
best
supposed to be
friend.
the thing. That's the whole
She's
point.
literally supposed to have been on the market for a couple of seasons, struggling to find someone because all of the men who would give her, like, ask for her hand are her brother's age and their friends, and go, bitch, Daphne. Like that's what makes Daphne Daphne, is that she finds someone who sees her for more than just being the buddy. Like,
Yeah, that's
ugh,
like a
I hate it.
key
I hate it so
feature of that
much.
character, and they
I hate it so
ruined
much.
it.
They freaking ruined it. I'm so mad about that. Do I have anything against the actress? Absolutely not. She's absolutely beautiful. Do I have anything against the actor? Absolutely not. He's hot AF. Yes, please. Very good looking people for romance. That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Come on. Primary character traits. Really? Really? That just cheeses me something fierce.
And then they
Cheeses
had
me
to do the
something
whole
fierce.
convoluted thing to make her undesirable, because, like, no, you didn't need that whole
No, you didn't
thing.
have to
You
do
can just
any
leave
of
that
that.
out. That she's
Didn't have to,
the girl next
and it would
door.
have
She's the
spoken
brother's,
to,
or the friend's
oh my God.
sister. Like,
Yeah, like, oh, that would have spoken to so many people. So many people. Ugh, just, as you can tell, makes me irate. Which is sad because I love the costumes and I love the whole fantasy history aspect to it. Am I expecting historical accuracy out of a romance historical novel? No, no, I
oh
am not.
gosh,
Come on
no.
now.
No, I
Come
don't
on
know. I
now.
don't mind any of the other changes that they made, and like the fact that the music at the balls is like
Oh, I
orchestral
love that
versions of
part.
top 40 songs. Like, that's kind of neat.
Oh yeah, I have some of those songs and soundtracks and playlists and stuff. I like that. I've always liked when they do that, but I can't. I can't watch season 2. It doesn't matter. I cannot get over how badly they messed up Daphne. That's it. Absolutely not. But again, I've been reading the series for a very long time now, so it's not. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Liz says, I could not
All
watch the
right, melting.
series. Erg.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. They
I
had the
didn't even finish
opportunity to
season
do
1.
something.
I got like 3 or 4 episodes in, and I'm like,
No,
they messed up
no.
the character. Like
Ugh,
Nat 1 critically messed it up.
I know. I'm just like, really.
Like, I don't even care that she's blonde or whatever. Like, sure, the person that's playing the character is blonde. Don't care. Do not care. It's the whole diamond of the season thing is just, that's
That had been the
completely
only
counter to
change,
the point of the character.
that had been the only change, I would have been grumpy, but I would have let it go. I absolutely do not believe you would not have been able to find a very pretty brunette actress. I don't. That's absolutely not BS. I'm going to swallow. But it's fine. That I could have been like, okay, that's a decision choice. They just picked the one that suits the time for right now, for what we're sort of training the next generation to believe beautiful is. Okay, but we did the same training to us when we were little, but whatever. But because that would have just changed one aspect, which is like the Bridgertons are known for looking like Bridgertons. Like they're famous in the books for always being recognized as a Bridgerton because they all have dark chestnut brown hair, they all have dark brown eyes, they look like siblings. They strongly look like siblings. There is no, ooh, you could be, it's a, oh, you're a Bridgerton. Okay,
But where are you going to
I could have
find,
forgiven
like,
that.
was it, like, how many Bridgertons are there? How are you going to find that many actors that look that alike?
You're not. So, like, if you could stick to the brown hair, brown eyes, great. I would have taken it, moved on. Not a problem.
Yeah,
Went
I
with
mean, like,
blonde,
hair dye and
not
colored contacts
ideal, but
exist.
yeah, like, you
You
could have
can make it
changed that.
happen.
Not too, you can make it happen. But it's the core character change that just cheeses me off to no end. Because without fail, that means they would have made Anthony's Kate annoying as all get out because she's a strong personality profile. So they would have slid over to gnarly. So she'd be overly aggressive instead of the right level. There's no way they didn't mess with her either. And there's no way they haven't messed with any of the other Bridgertons. Which just cheeses me off before we even get there. And I don't even want to know how they've butchered Eloise. I just don't. Which is
Let's
great.
sigh.
That's the right side row. This is a whole
Good
other
rant.
sprint where I'm reading.
My eyes are watering
I just want to make
again.
sure that
It's
I
very
don't do the
upsetting.
wrong thing, right? Because I'm absolutely not. So I'm telling my cat off. I don't want to do the wrong thing on this. Oh yeah, no, Bridgerton's a great way for me to rant. The other rant I'm really good at doing is the Expanse series. That television series. I will rant about that for days too.
I need to do a reread of that series. I want to do that this year. Because a reread and a
I'm game.
rewatch, but read first.
I'll do a reread.
Because it's book 1 and season 1 were several years ago, and I want to reacquaint myself. I never actually did finish the series, because by the time I started the last book, I'm like, I don't remember what was going on, I don't remember who anybody is, and I don't know why any of the things that are happening are important. So I got halfway through and gave up, and I'm like, I'm just gonna reread the whole series and then finish it when this is gonna have the proper impact.
Yeah. This was the wrong pattern to pick.
Jude says, better than the tinking back of over half a long row I'm doing. I'm about done with long rows for tonight. Feel ya.
Yeah, that's fair.
Liz says, this is definitely one case where the book is better than the series. I mean, usually the book is better than the series. So.
We tend to be better. Which isn't to say there isn't good adaptations out there, because there are good adaptations out there.
Yeah.
The BBC 1990s version of Pride and Prejudice. Colin Firth is Mr. Darcy. That is a man I can get behind because it's hot.
Colin Firth is forever Mr. Darcy.
Forever Mr. Darcy.
Oh, Susanna's back. Hello. Hope your Tim Hortons experience was good. What else was a good adaptation? Jurassic Park. The book ending to Jurassic Park is stupid.
Yeah, the book ending to Jurassic Park was not good. The movie was much. And I also had that dude, Rube Goldberg? Is that guy, the scientist dude?
No, Rube Goldberg is the like convoluted machines.
Oh yeah. Anyway, he's in like a whole bunch of movies where I'm just like, you make the movie, sir.
Oh yeah, that guy. I don't remember his name, but yes, that guy.
Oh, what's his name? But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
He's also in Independence Day.
I don't know if I've seen that.
We should add that to the list, because there's nothing wrong with Will Smith being an action star to brighten a week. My brain's not in this place. I should have vetoed your vote.
The movie ending of Fight Club is better than the book.
Ooh, that's another good one. Yeah, the movie ending is quite respectable compared to Fight Club.
Like specifically the ending, like the rest of it, they're pretty much
on par.
Like they're on par.
I mean, it's Fight Club,
but the movie ending makes more sense.
It does.
I don't actually remember how the book ended, but I read the book after I'd seen the movie a couple of times. I'm like, this makes no sense. I'm reading the book. I'm like, flipping back pages. I'm like, did I miss something? This doesn't make sense. I don't even remember what happened. I just remember like being so confused.
But I've noted of record for anybody who's wondering, she's right here on the table. Right there.
Of course she is.
Of course she is.
Ooh, Susanna has food. I want food. I have a Cliff Bar sitting right here that I meant to eat at some point, and I haven't done that yet.
I'm so hungry.
Somebody remind me to eat my Cliff Bar. Somebody remind me to have my snack when this sprint is done.
Someone remind me that food is a thing.
Remind me that food exists and I should put it in me.
Made some Burmese style tofu that I need to go fry up. And
Burmese style tofu.
Burmese style tofu. I wrote a whole experimental Tuesday post about it.
Well, I didn't read it.
Rude. I went deep. I looked up the history of Burmese style tofu. I looked at several different recipes. I tried 4 or 5 different types of Burmese tofu. I did a proper experiment with it.
Oh. What makes it Burmese?
It's made from lentils. Well, traditionally from split yellow peas, but I didn't have split
Oh.
yellow peas. I had split green peas, I had red lentils, I had brown lentils, and you can also do it with beans. So I included a YouTube video that I ran across where the gentleman explains like how to make it quite well. And then I went in and did a little bit of a history and a couple of recipe suggestions and stuff. I obviously like frying it and eating it in salads because that's how I like to eat tofu. But it's just a different way of having tofu, so it's a different type of tofu. So, because for some people they can't have tofu because the soy upsets them, right? So I'm like, well, here's a
Yeah.
tofu that's soy free that you can make at home. Because it's not complicated. It's soak the lentils or split peas for 4 hours or overnight. I'm lazy. I just do it overnight. And then you come back in the morning, you drain them, you rinse them, and you put them in a frying pan with a volume of water, depending on how many beans you've soaked or peas you've soaked. And then you cook on medium high heat till you get a thick paste because the water's sort of evaporated and cooked off. Then you
Okay.
stick in a container and stick in the fridge for several hours, and then presto tofu.
Huh. So you just cook it to mush
So easy.
till it's like dried
So
out mush,
easy.
and then let it set and it tofuizes.
Yes.
Huh. Interesting.
There is the gentleman explains it a lot better than I just did. My sales pitch, not so great. But I have a plastic container of brown lentil tofu in the fridge for dinner today, which I'm going to fry and have with rice and soy sauce. I'm out of spring onions, though I used the last of my spring onions. Otherwise, I would fry it with do it in the night, add some spring onions and water chestnuts and stuff. So I'm just going to make like a sticky tofu instead. I switched patterns. I couldn't take it. No more reading. I can't look at that white screen anymore.
Nikki says, unpopular opinion, but this is why I watch the series first if I've not already read the books, because then I enjoy the series while I'm watching, usually. Then I read the book and enjoy.
No, that's fine.
That makes sense. Can't get mad at the series
I
for not
still
matching
get
the book then.
I still get mad. I still get mad because I know the book came first. I still get mad. It just means I can't go back and rewatch the series. That's all it is.
I like to read the book first because I like to have the chance to envision it myself, because if I've seen the series first and then I try to read the book, it doesn't matter how they describe the characters. I can only see them as they're portrayed in the TV series. So I like to have the chance to imagine them myself.
No, I get just as irate at major character changes, whether or not I read the book first or read the series first. It just happens 9 times out of 10 I tend to read the book first because I've already read the book by the time it's been made into a series. Or I find out that a book is being made into a TV series and I go, oh, what's that? And I read the book, right? Like if I haven't seen it before.
Yeah. I think that's probably how lots of people do it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I want to check out at some point the TV series Percy Jackson. Apparently, it is redemptive from the bad movie series adaptation of the books.
Oh, okay.
And I quite enjoyed the Percy Jackson series of books by Rick Riordan. He writes beautiful myth retellings for teenagers and preteens. I've read all of his stuff. It's quite well done. It's very enjoyable. And you can mess with myth from here to next Tuesday. It's folklore. It's oral traditions. Yeah. Like it's meant to be fudged with, to adjust to new cultural
told and
mores.
retold and modified.
That's nature. So to have it gentrified essentially makes absolutely no offense to me, because as long as you're not as bad as Disney was at doing it, I think it's fine. So, and he's not as bad as Disney is, so it's fine. But the movie series was not great. It wasn't bad. I was just kind of like, oh, geez, here we go again. Ugh. But apparently the
Mm-hmm.
TV series that is coming out right now is a lot better. So I might have to sit down and watch that at some point. If I can find where to watch it. I don't pay attention to when people are talking about it. And it comes up in book podcasts because they talk about it comparing it to the books.
I only read the first book last year, I think, because nephew loves them. And I,
Yeah, they're very good.
wanted to know what's what. But yeah, it's definitely written for a younger audience than I am, and I'm like, I liked it, but it's like, this style is not for me. But like, it wasn't bad.
It's a young book.
Yeah.
It's a young book. It's fine. I loved them. I thought they were delightful. My niece read them for a while. But my niece also read Captain Underpants for years, so.
I also did until my grade 7 teacher shamed me in front of the class for my book order, and I didn't read anymore after that.
That was silly.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Well, I couldn't possibly put in another book order for the next book after that.
Oh, I would have.
Yeah, that was not my personality at the time.
God, stubborn. Ever since I was a child. One of my favorite stories to tell is my very first word. My very first word was no.
It's a good first word. It's important to be able to set boundaries.
We don't doubt my ability to speak my mind. It's not a problem I've had. But I was comfortable being the unpopular kid who read in the library. So.
Nikki says, "Oh, I got mad at the series after I read the books, but it's okay because I enjoyed watching it in ignorance."
I think most part is that I don't always watch a series. Like, I'll hear about it and I'll go read it, and then I never go watch it. I'm always like, I should do that at some point. It never happens. Just don't have any interest in it. I'm also not like, I don't get into so many things that I want to read the entire expanded universe of things. I mean, everybody who's here knows that I've watched the original Star Trek series. I watched the movies and I watched the movie reboot series, but I have no interest or desire to watch any of the new Star Trek content. I have no interest in it. The story is fine as is. I have no desire to go back to that universe to explore that. Would I watch another movie reboot? I mean, probably. It's fun doing, and it's only like a couple hours once and you're done, right? And because of J.J. Abrams' filming style, I can see what's going on, so I do appreciate that. 2/3 of a dark movie where I see absolutely nothing is boring beyond all measure, and I'm starting to the point where I'll probably end up taking naps in the movie theater if I have to go watch these things. But Picard, don't care.
Yeah, Picard was. Nah. It was all right.
One of the other ones. There's like several people rave about some, and I'm just like, I don't care. I really don't care. It's fine that it's there. I also didn't read the extra books. I'm not into the. I've met some of the actors from the original series. I have some signed photographs and stuff, but I'm not. Like, I got hugged. Captain Picard hugged me, and I got a photo with Jean-Luc Picard.
That's pretty great.
At Comic-Con one year. And that was delightful, but I have no desire to go back to that universe to watch. I want something new. Like, if I'm going to sit down and watch TV, it has to be something new or I'm not going to bother.
That's fair. I like Star Trek because, like, you can be in the same universe, you can have the nostalgic callbacks, but it's also like, it's huge, so you can just kind of go wherever and do whatever that makes sense in our modern era to explore a sci-fi thing. So like, it's an established world to go explore modern
take
concepts.
The word modern out. Just say era.
Just
say era. Take modern
whatever.
out.
Like modern, but like stuff that is currently relevant in society.
I'm very slowly trying to unprogram your Victorian habits. Take modern out.
That is what I meant.
Will make you cool and hip.
Stuff that is currently relevant.
Today. You can watch the original Star Trek and see current events.
Also, that is also interesting. That's like it's been 50 years and we're
It's
still talking about the exact
still
same stuff.
relevant
Oh,
because
beep
it's
beep.
still an
I'm gonna
issue.
finish this round. I'm
It's
so
not
close.
that the issues have changed, because the issues have not changed. I'm gonna keep going on this choose your own adventure shawl because I'd like to make some progress on something today. But it definitely, I don't like, with all of the trouble that Star Trek had, and it had some troubles with some of their executive producers were jerks. I love Gene
yeah.
Roddenberry. He was not the issue. He was never the issue. I go back, and if I'm doing a nostalgia watch, I'm not paying that much attention. Like, I will rewatch Stargate. I only pay attention for the one-liners I like, and the rest of the time it's background noise. I just play. It's fine. It's good
Stargate
if
was great.
if I need to do something.
Oh, thank you, Susanna.
Because
She's
it's a
reminding me about
delightful
my
series.
snack.
I need a snack. I have no snacks. I'm hungry. Ugh.
You should get a snack.
I don't have pre-made snacks. That's not how this apartment works.
Oh, unfortunate.
No. There is no tech salary for me, my dear. My budgets do not afford me Cliff Bars. If I pick Cliff Bars, I'm not having something else I really need to have in the house. So, like food for the monster. She keeps getting more and more expensive every month. However, I don't like the repetitiveness. That's not a word. I see with a lot of television stuff. So I'm not really that interested. I can read farther, read wider, and I will never be able to read all of the books that are published within my lifetime in my lifetime. I couldn't even read all of the books published in a year. That is how many get published.
Oh gosh,
so I'm
no.
never going to run out of new stories to read, and we are getting a lot better at having content with strong Eastern influences. So there are whole fantasy worlds with entirely different magic systems that I know nothing about because they come from entirely different folklore and myth-based properties, and it's a whole new thing for me. So I don't know why I would go back to consuming a medium I can't see, so I'm only getting 10% of. Because all I get is dialogue. I don't get anything else because we don't do descriptive audio for television, which we should, and we shouldn't even be having the discussion if we should be. We simply should be. So I don't know why I would put my time and effort into a medium that has no time for me. Like, if you're not going to value me, I'm not going to value you. So I'll watch you when I'm in the mood, but even the blacklist, I'm just listening. I'm not watching. I can't see 2/3 of the scenes.
No, that's fair.
I'm not watching. Yeah. If any of you wonder what it's like, turn on the television, turn on the descriptive audio, and then turn your screen resolution down so you can't see what's going on. That's what I see for television. It is boring.
It's an audiobook missing all the description.
It's an audiobook with no rooms, no descriptions, no surfaces, no context. I don't know what people are wearing. I don't know where they're going. I don't know what vehicles they're in. I don't know any of that because I don't get any of that information. I can't see the fight scenes. I can't make out people when they're doing up close arguments. I don't see gesticulations. I don't see eye movements. I don't see facial expressions. None of that stuff registers. So why am I wasting my time when the book is going to give me all of that description?
Yeah.
And works
that makes perfect
on
sense.
building my imagination. Because genies.
Ooh, Jude says, unpopular opinion, not a fan of Disney versions of things. They've lost their magic in modern years.
I'm not really a fan of Disney, period. It's fine. I do watch. I like some of the songs, but the premise
songs are pretty great.
And a lot of what the songs are good. I do enjoy the music. I don't enjoy what they've taught generations of people to be.
I have all the nostalgia for it because that's like basically all I watched growing up was Disney movies. But since
Don't
I've
get me wrong.
learned what the original versions of the stuff was, I'm like, oh, you really completely and utterly changed that, like including the moral of the story.
Hmm.
You basically took the setting and did your own thing.
Pretty much. Which again, not against. Retelling myths is perfectly normal for what it
Hmm.
is. Uh, some of it is like some things I don't like because I babysat. One of the children I babysat only watched The Little Mermaid. We still can't watch The Little Mermaid because I can still quote the whole thing from scratch. Does that stop me from ever watching like the live song version thing? No, absolutely not. I will absolutely watch that. Do I enjoy a lot of Disney content? I love a lot of Disney content. I like a lot of the classics. I'll still rewatch Beauty and the Beast. The premise is daft. My favorite thing about Beauty and the Beast is the remake of Belle. She has her own villain song now on Spotify. And that's way more accurate. It's way, but yeah, totally
Wait,
fine.
when did Belle get a villain
I'd
song?
rather.
What?
There's a lady who's been remaking Disney princess songs, and she's been turning the princesses into villains, or the side
Oh,
characters into villains, and giving them their own songs. And I have quite a few of her songs on Spotify now because,
okay, send me a
yes,
link, because I want
I
this
will
in my
send you a
life.
link. It's so good. So I like that twist, and we wouldn't have gotten that twist without the Disney movies, right? Like we wouldn't have gotten there without it.
Yeah.
And I like some of the live adaptations. Like I like what they're trying to do with the tech and stuff.
I feel
But
very
every
meh about
single
the couple
princess
that
is
I've
the same
seen. They're
princess.
like, eh.
Every princess is the same princess. They're not, they don't change. They are the same thing. They are the same thing. But that's also why I read romance novels. They're the same person. Just have different skins and different jokes. That's it. Fine. I don't mind. But I absolutely would not ever show it to a child. No way this side of last Tuesday would I let any child of mine anywhere near Disney. Absolutely not. They wouldn't even know it exists unless their friends watch it.
Well, they're gonna know it exists. Can't
Which
explain.
is fine.
You can't avoid Disney.
Yeah. Yes, you can. I have several friends who grew up and never watched Disney.
How?
Ever. Their parents just didn't have Disney in the house. They didn't watch Disney. Not a thing. Which makes it hilarious when you play villainous and you have to explain who people are for them, but that's fine. I don't mind.
Disney villain songs are the best, though.
Disney villain songs are amazing. Highly recommend Disney villain songs. And there's that gentleman who does the updated Christmas Carol theme song I like to listen to so much. I don't remember his name, but he does
Oh,
like Harry Potter in 90 seconds and stuff. He was on YouTube for a while. He's got a lot of his stuff up. But he does political stuff and songs and that. So I don't like all of his content, but I like some of his content. But he definitely for sure has a lot of fun songs like that. And he does villain songs or, what happens happily ever after. And he references Disney to real things, which is kind of nice. But it's parody stuff, right? So
what am I
there's
working
a
on
lot. But
next?
no, I have some friends. I'm working on this show. I have some friends who didn't grow up with Disney. They're aware of it. They know the franchise exists, but they never watched it as children. I certainly would never let my children watch it.
I think the only thing that I've pulled out that I haven't worked on yet is this blanket. So I think we're doing a sprint of this blanket,
Like it? Okay.
and then I can do my other armpit on the Steincricker and have it finish.
I'm trying to figure out because we record on Monday. I'll have 3 things. Because I finished a thing for more bonus content stuff that we're going to be working on, but I'm going to show it off as a finished object because it's a project I've been working on this week. Oh, 4 things because I got the Gramps sweater, which I did work on, and my purple sweater, which I'd like to get more sleeve work done on today, but I've got D&D tonight, so there's that.
I
And then
believe I will have 3 things.
I've got the scrappy basket I made, though that's technically only half done. but I can go into detail on that later. And then I have this Endless Summer Adventure shawl. So technically I have 4 things. Oh, that feels good. Possibly a cast on. We'll see how my gauge fletching goes.
Susanna got about a third of the basement cleared.
Oh,
That's
well
awesome.
done. That is going to be no small task.
Judah saying
Clearing
it
a
used
basement.
to be a song to go with the film, not the song as the plot with the song stuff around it. And hate the live adaptations, love the tiny irrelevant characters like the tortoise in Snow White.
You know, sometimes it's all about the side characters.
It took me a second, like the tortoise in Snow White, and then I'm like, oh yeah, the tortoise in Snow White.
In Snow White.
Yep. No, you're right. You're totally right. It took a second, but yeah, you're right.
Do I still make my cat dance with me to Everybody Wants to Be a Cat from the Aristocrats? You bet your keister I do. She still doesn't appreciate it. Don't know why. No sense of adventure my quadruped has. Why is your food so expensive? Can you answer this question for me? You bring nothing into this household.
The background furniture in the fight scene at the end of Beauty and the Beast. Just like the furniture that's in the background. They don't have voices. They're not really in anything. They're just like doing stuff in the background. Like,
Yep. That's the stuff I watch for, right?
Like excuse me, chest of drawers. What are you doing with that baseball bat? Well, not a baseball bat. It's a club, but like. He says supper's ready. Gotta go.
Have fun.
Susanna says a full 3-ton truck. That's a lot. I'm gonna start this sprint. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, sprint.
Basements are a lot of work, and we put stuff down there, and then we forget it's there. Like it is just, it is a dungeon crawl. Cleaning a basement is a dungeon crawl. Hard, intense work.
Hers is not that bad because moved relatively recently, but yeah, there's stuff down there that does not need to be down there.
The best part of doing the whole downsizing to smaller spaces has been forcing myself to get rid of a lot of detritus.
Like, you haven't used this thing in 5 years, you can probably get rid of it.
Like, of all the stuff that you have, you're never going to put on display, you're never going to use it. Donating it, giving it to so somebody else can use it and it can have a purpose, like that's just way more fulfilling in my brain. Does that mean I don't collect stuff? Of course I collect stuff. Duh. I'm sitting in a room
fine to collect stuff, and it's fine to get rid of stuff. It's fine to collect stuff for a time and then decide you're not into it anymore and get rid of it then.
And let it go.
It made you happy while you had it? Doesn't make you happy anymore?
Absolutely.
It's time to move on.
Let it make somebody else happy.
Exactly.
Oh, it feels good to knit. I really should finish this shawl. It's only like 100 grams of DK left to put into it. I should just put it on the list to get it done. What I should put on the list to get done is finding my freaking stitch markers. No idea where the bag went. And it's not a small bag, it's one of my Ipsy bags. Fairly large Oceans bag. And I know it'll show up eventually, just like the headphone did, but I'm just... Until it does.
Yep.
Until it does. It's a problem.
It's somewhere.
Somewhere. Over the rainbow.
Liz says, I have to hire a dumpster to start the great clearance of my parents' house. Ugh. Good luck.
That is the other thing that I'm determined not to make people do when I'm gone, is have a massive space to clean.
Mm-hmm.
The web camera doesn't exist to irritate you. Leave it alone. No, I don't want you.
But it's existing and it's irritating her.
No, I don't want you. I see white paws right there on the computer desk. They can stay over there.
I can see her analyzing how to crawl onto you. I can see the cat math.
Mm-hmm. Cat math is occurring. Cat math is in for a rude surprise when she goes off the other end of me. We have been in bed all week, ma'am. I've spent plenty of time chilling with you this week.
More.
Including when you decide to push all of your feet against me to gain more space on the bed. How you could possibly require more space when you have half of a queen-size bed, I'd like to know. Yeah, care to explain that to me? Why do you need more bed than me?
Because you're in the best spot.
That's it, is what it is. She's looking for my spot. But what do I get? I get 4 little feet into the small of my back, and then she just pushes, trying to move me out of bed.
And how's that working for her?
What happens to me?
I think this is how Cat gets rolled over on top of.
I've been known to do that.
Liz says, I've gotten rid of a lot of my stuff after seeing their house. Yeah.
I like keeping heirlooms and stuff, but I have to be honest, like, who's going to be cleaning up my apartments and stuff? Like, it'll be my niece. I'm waiting.
Trying to keep things to a dull roar.
Kitchen through the screen. Kitchen off the screen.
Taking bets on how long it takes her to get back up and crawl on top of you?
I don't know. We'll see. She was headbutting my arm this morning. Oh my god, she had a cold, wet nose.
Wake up, human. I can see the bottom of my food dish.
Pretty much. Oh, it's not even so much that as she slept through breakfast, so I put breakfast down, but she was sleeping, so when she woke up, she wanted me to get up and feed her breakfast, but she wouldn't go check her food bowl to see that breakfast was already there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Of course not.
But she does the same thing, like, we'll be doing stuff and I'll be getting dressed and she'll be like, hey, let me help, hey, let me help. I will literally dump a wet hair towel on her head and I will ruffle all of her fur in the wrong direction, which cheeses her off something fierce.
Yeah.
I've also been known to wake her up right in the middle of her nap and clean around her. She wakes me up in the middle of the night.
That seems only fair.
But that's how cat ownership works.
Well, yeah.
So, which is absolutely acceptable in my mind. Oh yeah, I need to finish the shawl so I can free up these needles. And I've got some other shawl designs on my brain, so I'd like to get this one done and revamped. And have additional instructions written up if you want to make it a 3 skein DK weight shawl, which is technically what I'm doing. To do that. And avoid at all costs knitting section 5. I don't want to do it. I dropped those stitches and I know I gotta.
No, that's not how that stitch works. Ugh. Oh,
you
guys, I'm gonna have to wind more yarn.
So. Gonna have to wind more yarn?
Might have to annoy everybody with my yarn winding again.
Why don't you wind more than one ball at a time?
I'm just making faces at the camera. I don't know. I do not have a reason for that. That would be like the smart, reasonable thing to do. No.
Sure, what? On day 7?
Something like that. I don't remember.
Day 8? Go to like day 12, wind day 12, and then do a little loopy tie. Wind day 11, loopy tie. Wind day 10. Then you'll have a honky ball.
Oh, I could just like wind everything together. I could wind everything together in one big ball.
Yeah, or do like 50-gram balls stuff, like because they're 20 grams a mini, right? So like you could do 100-gram balls, and either magic knot them or whatever. I wouldn't magic knot them because I like knowing at the end, right?
Yeah.
So I would do length and then do one of those loopy knots that you can unpull right away. Like I'm assuming you know what I mean when I say loopy.
I probably just wouldn't even bother to do the little loopy knot.
But I would do a huge section of that. and then I would just crochet off that because I still know when I'm changing colors and days, but then I'm only winding once for a huge thing, and then I don't have to wind for a while because
What
you
I
have to
should
set up your
do...
winder every time.
Oh no, I've been winding these by hand because they're only 20 grams. That's part of the reason
So
I haven't sat down. And what I need to do is I need to just prepare myself for like half an hour of winding and do all my little minis and do the rest of the yarn for the librarian is what I need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
actually, for the next sprint, am I Kitchenering an armpit or am I winding yarn?
No, winding yarn.
I'm winding yarn?
Mostly because I'm not sure I can hold down that much conversation again. I do inevitably run out of words. No one believes me. I know no one believes me.
Liz says, my cat has decided that he's part raccoon. He loves playing fetch, but after the third or fourth toss, he dips his mouse in the water bowl and brings me a soggy mousey.
That sounds about right.
Amazing.
Mine has busted 3 water bowls in her existence because she lies in them.
In the water bowl?
In the water bowl.
Why?
I don't know. I have a very moderately fancy cat water fountain I cannot put down because she will not stop till she's knocked it over.
Mm-hmm.
She could have fresh filtered water, but she insists on just ever loving destroying the snot out of this thing. So I have a filter cat fountain thing I never use because I can't. And she was fine with it for like the first 6 to 8 months, and then we decided it was a toy. Oh, of course we did.
I'm gonna wind more yarn in the next sprint. I'm just gonna do my crochet swatch on the other yarn that's right here that's already wound, so I don't have to deal with this right now.
That's fair.
Jude wants to know, are you going to show your MCAL shawls in the podcast? I'm trying to figure out
how... will be showing hers.
I will, yes. I'm trying to figure out how to do my Clue 7, as I adventured very much my own way, so need to figure out if I need to stop that path.
That's fair. The whole point is to enjoy your adventure stuff, so like, do it up. I've got a couple of messages about the Choose Your Own Adventure, and I know there's an error in the final section I have to go in and fix. So I need to do an errata, I need to do an update, and I need to release the final version of the pattern. And I'm behind because I did not do any of that this week. If I sat down to the computer to work, it was to earn money for bills because I have to renew my apartment insurance at the end of the month.
Totally fair.
That's gonna hurt. I have that terrifically annoying phone appointment with the bank to go over stuff as I pay for my apartment insurance through a bank program. So I need to look and update all of that. I need to look and update my account settings. I need to look and update my investment stuff. I've had a big, long, boring adult phone call this week. Yeah.
Blech. But yes, at least one shawl is getting showed off. So you can at least see all of my clues.
If I manage to magically reknit an entire section in a day, which is super not happening, and then magically Kitchener it closed, I will also show mine off. If not, then we'll have to wait a week while I reknit that section. Not even the whole section, it's like half a section, but the rows are still really long.
What stitch do I want to do this swatch in for crochet? Or should I do like a few rows of single, a few rows of half double, and then a few rows of double? And see how... I think I like that idea. And just see how it all plays together.
I'm glad I was here for you to bounce an idea off of.
Yep. Good chat, thanks.
You're welcome. Good job.
I'll do like 3 or 4 rows of each.
Oh, you know what I want? I know what I want.
And see what it all looks like.
I'm so hungry. Okay, I need to eat after this.
I think we've only got one sprint after this one.
Yep, just one more to go. I'm doing good.
We've been on for... oh, it doesn't say. I made the text bigger and now I can't see how long we've been on.
A while. Yeah,
There we
it's a
go.
while.
2.5 hours.
Did you somewhere along the line lose your mind, Cat? Did you ever
Oh,
had
probably.
anything to do? Have you been in the catnap? Possibly. Oh no, I have to take garbage. I can't even just go straight and make food after this. I gotta take garbage out first while the sun's up. Boo, urns. I gotta figure out how to justify a new burger order next month. I think I'm gonna treat myself to
Oh.
multiple takeout meals on my birthday month. I just need to figure out how I'm gonna justify that.
I haven't found a new burger replacement out here, and I'm sad.
It happens. I mean, there's no Saskatoon, like there's no Saskberry farm here. I have to go to Saskatoon,
Hmm. Oops.
which legit.
I split my yarn. There we go. Jude says it's Diana's clue 7 that I need most, so even if Jocelyn doesn't get it done, I'm good. I have every
Good.
I have every stitch pattern in my shawl so far. Okay.
Ooh, that's going all over. That is a
Yeah.
heck of a choice. I like it. I hadn't even thought about doing it that way. That's totally a way to do it. I'm sorry. It's just because I know it's going to bug me, and I didn't even think about it. It just irritated me, and I started fixing it, and then I went, moron, you should have waited to show your shawl up first. Dum dum.
It happens.
I don't always think things through. I'd like to say I think things through, but that is a blatant lie. I think it's. Ooh. I think the reason I'm thinking about it is once I do that phone call with the bank, I've done my serious adulting for the year because all my tax stuff is filed and done because I work for myself and I have everything. So I can legit just be done with adulting in the hardcore adult stuff. What in the world is going on here?
Still waiting for a
Why would I
T4
need a
before I can do
ride
taxes.
today? Oh, something's happened in the thread. I like knowing what's going on with my stuff. I don't get excited by the numbers I'm seeing, but I like knowing what's going on with my stuff. And how programs work. Better if I've done it, so then I understand what's going on.
Hmm.
And it's not like I need to learn all the tax infrastructure for everyone this side of last Tuesday. I just have to know how it works for me.
Yeah.
So I need to be aware of and look up and figure out and find out programs that are for me, not the whole continental Canada.
Yeah.
Which is not that hard because I have the base information. So I've just been adding new stuff every year. Like I did personal taxes for a long time, and now that I freelance, it hasn't really changed all that much. And the wonderful thing about freelancing with a lot of American companies is they are incredibly timely with any requests for year-end paperwork because they work with lots of different countries. So they don't know when your taxes are done. So they just make sure everything is ready for you to ask for whenever you want it. You just put in your request, and 7 days later you have it.
Nice.
It's really quite nice. And honestly, I pay rent every month. I know how to calculate how much money I spent on rent every month. I pay like the phone bill gets paid. Like, just keep track of it, and it's like a 20-minute thing and done.
Yeah.
The keeping track is a nuisance, but then it's a 20-minute thing and done. And you can do them online. I love that you can do it online.
Oh my gosh,
Because
yeah.
if you mess something up, it goes, error. You can't send this, then it's not right. You forgot a box. You can be like, right.
No, our taxes are wonderfully boring. And I literally just need my T4 from my last company, and we're good to go. I have everything else.
Which is perfect. Well, I
I
have
just,
everything except for my banking stuff, which I will have after my phone call because I will place a request and then it'll be in my email inbox before the end of the week. God, I love the digital age for that.
I got to be, this is just thinking about jobs and stuff, I got to be a professional reference this week.
Ooh, was that fun for you?
I am honored that he asked me,
Okay.
but I hate doing it. I mean, I'm happy to do it for him because he's great and I gave him a glowing reference, but like they just emailed me this like Google Forms survey and I had to answer these like 10 questions. I'm like, God, I hate answering surveys so much. So like, I'm gonna do it because he's great and he deserves it. But God, I hate answering surveys.
I've worked middle, upper management and retail for so long that I can't remember when I haven't been a reference for somebody.
Well,
They used to do it by phone. That was fine. 5
it
minute
also
phone
would have been easier
conversation.
by
Done.
phone because if it's by email, because then I get to sit there and obsess over everything I've written. I'm like, did I do it right? Is this good enough? Can I make it better? Whereas if it's on the phone, I just like say some words and hope it was good enough, but it's done.
It's fine. We each have silver linings.
It's
They
the
probably do an
opportunity to
email form
obsess.
because people probably stopped answering their phones. So you don't get to do it the easy way anymore because too many of you didn't pick up your phone.
Oh, I don't answer my phone if it's an unrecognized number because it's spam. It just is. If it's important, you can leave me a message and I'll call you back. If it's an unknown number, I just don't pick it up because it is spam. They'll leave a message. It's spam.
I have 2 spam numbers and I've never not blocked their calls. I just mute the ringtones when they come in.
Oh yeah, I just like, it starts ringing. I'm like, oh, unknown number. Turn the phone over to mute that. Just let it keep ringing.
I don't answer phone calls from Germany. I mean, that's not how Karen's going to get a hold of me. She's going to message me on Discord.
No, I get ones from all over the place, but even if it's an Ontario number, if it's a Manitoba number, like, if it turns out to be something that I actually would want a phone call from, like the car place, when I take my car in, I put them in my phone book, so it comes up as them now.
Mm. Oh no, I get calls from all sorts of people. I will answer the phone if it's not messaged spam. As long as you're not from a foreign country, I'll answer. Because the 2 numbers that are spam, I'm a registered real phone. I just don't ever pick up, so they don't change the number. So they're in my phone book as spam. So I don't.
If I'm chaining up for a row of half double crochet, do I chain up 1 or 2? 1? Because like a half double is like a 1.5 stitches.
Yes, but if you chain up 2, it's too much height.
Yeah. Okay. 1 stitch it is.
The tradition is 1 stitch. I have occasionally accidentally chained up 2 for the height, and I find it makes the end a bit too wobbly. Like there's a bit too much space.
Yeah. That's okay. We'll do a half double.
There's like 8 messages in the Discord thread for D&D tonight. Oh Lord. If there's any hint of sickness, I'm not going in person.
I think I'm going to a show tonight with B, but we never finalized those plans, so I don't actually know.
Ooh, oh dear.
We haven't talked about it since Wednesday. The last planned suggestion was that she's coming over for dinner, and then we're heading into Toronto for a show.
Sure.
But I never got confirmation that we do in fact have tickets, or that she is in fact coming over for dinner. So...
Just you and B, or you, B, and the husband?
It's a Star Wars burlesque show, and Mr. Diane is not into that.
What? No sense of adventure.
I'd
go.
It's the burlesque aspect. Oop, my light went out.
It would be the burlesque part. That's be why I go.
Yeah, that's precisely why I'm going. That's precisely why he doesn't want to go.
That's fair. That's fair. That'd be precisely the way I go. But really, what video game did I absolutely tell his brother that he should try playing?
Well, yes.
We've already established I'm okay with the spicy stuff.
I should find the soundtrack for that on Spotify. Because I really
So
liked the
good.
music in the trailer.
It's so good. The soundtrack is absolutely delightful to listen to. Oh, I quite enjoy it. And oddly quite encouraging when I'm taking the garbage out. Don't ask me why. Just brings me joy.
Crochet stitches are so much
What is it?
wider
No,
than
it's
knit
important.
stitches.
Yes, they are.
These are both 24 stitches, but the crochet one's much wider.
Yes. Well, technically, it's a bigger stitch when you're done because it's got a 3-strand stitch instead of a 2-strand stitch. So you're going to have a bigger swatch on the same size hook or needle real fast.
I just never really thought about it. Anyway, here's row number 2 of half double crochet. Oh, we're almost done the sprint, so I'm probably just going to finish this row. And then set up to do that last armpit.
Ooh, are we on to the last one?
Just about. We got about 20 seconds left of this sprint.
Okay. What are we going to work on for the last one?
I don't know.
I should gauge swatch, shouldn't I?
For which project?
The cardigan crochet cardigan I can't pronounce.
Oh, us is back.
do a
We
gauge
lost
swatch.
power in this area, so no internet. Oh no. Beep beep.
That'll do it. I'm glad the
Yeah.
power's back on.
All right, well, we've got one more sprint left, so I'm going to finish up this row.
Ooh.
And I'm going to do that armpit.
Same boat. I'm going to finish this row. And then I'm going to look at the gauge swatch for that child cardigan. I need to apparently... It's sad that I just don't want to go to my DM's house.
No, that's entirely reasonable.
I just don't wanna.
Like, I'm excited for the show tonight, but also, if it ends up that it's not happening, I won't be upset.
It is absolutely an incredibly mean thing to say. It's not a nice thing to say, but I find their child aggravating. And I get it is easier for me to ignore how much nobody pays attention at the table if I'm not at the table. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Like the constant need the DM has to repetitively, and I mean enough that I notice it, which takes a bit because I generally don't really notice. A recap at the start of a session makes sense to me. Taking a break to put the little one down for bed makes sense to me. My DM smokes, like smoke breaks are included in the system, right? Like he goes outside to have a cigarette every now and again. That's what you do when you have a smoking habit. That's fine. That doesn't bother me. It's every time. Two of the players at the table have to do something. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know their character. They don't know their level. They don't understand what's going on. And we have to stop gaming to explain it to them again. Every time. Add in a 5-year-old being a 5-year-old, which is what a 5-year-old should be. It's much nicer if I could just put them all on mute every once in a while. I just go, you know what? I'm not stuck at this table because your house is dark and you have stairs with no proper railing, and I'm stuck in the basement and I can't go anywhere because it is not safe for me to do so. Just really kind of like being in my own space where if I want to get up and get a cup of tea, I can just get up and get a cup of tea. I don't actually have to ask somebody to do it because your house is that inaccessible.
Ooh, yeah, I get that.
And if you had 4 kids, That'd be fine. That's entirely different. You have one child and one of your two partners is a full-time stay-at-home parent and the other one works from home. I should not have to be that worried about it. Not when there's one kid. Four, absolutely. You cannot keep track of 4 children. Nobody can keep track of 4 children. That's not how children work. But it's one. It's one, which is sad because I like the rest of the gaming table, and I like the game. Like, and I love the DM, and I love the game. I just their kid is a lot. Their kid is a lot, and I hate having to deal with it, which isn't fair to them. Like, you should, choosing to have children is totally a legitimate option. I don't always like spending time with kids. I don't have a problem
That's
with
fair.
them. I also don't always want to have to do it. And we got 2 teenagers who game at the table, and I have no problem with the girls. Oh, my original ride is home with a cold. That's why I have an additional message.
Ah. Well, if your ride's sick, I think that means you're not going anywhere.
No, that's why another one offered to give me a ride, which was the message I opened up and was very confused.
Ah.
You're not the right person to be double checking with this.
Okay, put that in there and that in there. Also was saying I had a garter blanket and battery-powered lights, so at least I could knit. That's good.
Always important to know where your battery-powered lights are.
I'm like, where did I put my needles? I put them around my neck and then hid the ends in my hair by accident.
That happens. Am I crazy to want to order things to make a crochet beaded purse? Probably.
Depends. Is any of it black and or super tiny?
Well, I haven't picked the beads, or the yarn colors, so not black. And beads, just by their very nature, are tiny. However, the needles that Vintage Crochet was using will be the needles I order because they split for the yarn to go in between. So, might do that rather than trying to do an eye threading, because like threading through the eye only works if you can see the eye.
Yeah.
Which I cannot in my needles. So I have to thread in a very interesting manner. I do, like, my sewing machines have the easy thread needles, which are the sewing machine needles, but they actually have a cut in them, so you can run the thread along one side and it'll thread. Otherwise, I cannot thread sewing machine needles on my own. I haven't been able to do so in years. Does that mean the thread pops out a lot? Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's what you gotta do. But I really like the vintage crochet purse that she made, so like that's what I want to make. But I need to A, pick yarn, B, order the snappy handle piece for the snappy handle top part, and order beads to go with the yarns. But the beads by themselves are small. But like I can pick up beads without seeing them. That's just feeling or poking randomly into the container until you get beads on your needle, right?
Yeah.
That's doable. It's not like I want to make like a beaded piece of jewelry or something that I cannot do. I would if I could. I can't do it. Oh, now we're learning that one of the guys found a place to print spell cards for the girls because he plays with his daughters, 2 teenagers at the table.
Shall I start the sprint timer imminently? Are you still getting set up?
Go for it. I have no idea what I'm working on.
We gotta figure out what you're working on first. Oh yeah.
I'm gauge swatching.
Gauge swatching. Okay. All right. Everybody's set up for your.
I can respond to everything later because now I know what's going on.
I'm good. Get ready for your last sprint.
Yeah, I'm good. Go for it. I'm actually gonna have to leave the screen anyway because I need to go get my crochet hooks, but that's fine.
3, 2, 1.
That is not.
Last sprint.
Get us started. Let's double check the gauge swatch numbers. That's important.
Gotta get these stitches on a needle. Oh no. Come here. Come here. Come here, little stitch.
I want...
It's not even a little stitch. It's quite a large stitch.
I will be using more than a 3mm crochet hook. But I need... That's a material check. Uh-oh, did you split your page in half? Oh, people, don't stop writing patterns like textbooks.
Oh, I've missed whole chunks of patterns because I didn't realize. Because I'm reading it on my
Oh,
phone.
I hate that aspect. I understand that it saves, like, because it saves paper. It saves paper. Stop doing it.
We're reading it digitally anyway. Don't worry about the paper.
Not even that. Don't even care about that part. Don't even care about the printing part. I care because screen readers go left to right.
They're not
They
smart
don't
enough to
read
read up and
columns.
down the column? Really?
They don't do columns. They don't do columns.
But that's like such a basic formatting thing.
If I want columns read, I have to use my OrCam because my OrCam will read columns. Nope, screen readers go left to right. So if you've got your page split in half, it reads half of a line, then it reads the other half of the line.
Well, that's not useful.
Yep. 2 inches of positive.
Why would it even do that?
Because it reads left to right. It reads the screen.
Yeah, but it's a dumb way of doing it.
Gauge. 20 stitches and 21 rows for 10 by 10 centimeters or 4 by 4 inches using, I'm not going to be using that, half double crochet worked under.
Okay, there's 10 stitches there.
Three loops, slightly block. Okay, so I need to go get my hook. This is using fingering weight yarns. They want a 3mm needle. I'm using DK, so I'm going to bump that to a 4, and I will be right back. I need my hooks. I know where they are right now, though.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, why can't I pay myself early? I freaking want a burger and fries. Okay.
Then, I don't know, you're in charge of your own payroll.
I am, but my payroll has to feed me next month, so that's not happening.
That sounds like a future you problem.
Yes, and future me will swear it past me if I do something as stupid as that. So not happening. Not happening.
Future
She definitely
you
had some
needs
cat
to win the lottery or something.
Future me needs to have things to happen that will not happen. And I can be grumpy about it from here to next Tuesday. But that's not true. Why am I even going here? I need my 4mm crochet hook, which is in another project. I know where it is. I don't know.
Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There we go. Everything's on needles. I need...
It's going to be ridiculously dark to try to read and see, but that's not the point.
About an arm's length will be lots.
The point is, I get to start by unwinding a double connected ball of yarn into a single ball of yarn. Which is a part of the process. Oops. This is yarn I reclaimed from a very old project that I had finished but never wore. I don't remember what the yarn is. I just remember that it is wool. That's it. That's all I got. Wool.
I mean, that's the important part.
That's the important part.
All right, gotta get scooch yarn. Ugh. Okay, there we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
I'm not even too worried about the kinks. Quite frankly, I'm crocheting it, so it's going to be different kinks anyway when it's finished.
All right, I need my first 2 stitches instructions again.
Why is that even a thing that happened?
Stab the end in there. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're gonna do a purlise. Then we're going to do a knitwise. And then we do a knit the front. Whoa. Nope, come here, come here, come here, come here. Knit the front and off. And purl.
Excitingly, though, the NDP and Liberal government seem to have started to finally work on pharmacare, which is good.
Purl in the Mac.
I'm very excited about that.
Knit. Sorry, what was that about pharmacare? What's pharmacare?
What's pharmacare?
What is pharmacare?
I'm gonna start
what
making
is that?
you listen to the news.
No, because if it's important, somebody tells me about it. And the news is otherwise just incredibly depressing.
No, it's not. They also tell fantastic stories about swearing parents.
I really don't care about that.
You really should, because it's really funny. Or how they had to clear out a couple of thousands worth of people in England to remove a bomb from World War II that someone found in their backyard.
Oh my god. I mean, if it hasn't gone off at this point.
It's safe so long as it's in the ground, but they were taking it out of the ground, and that's when they were like, we should deal with this now, because we found it. Something like 10% of the bombs didn't go off, and we're just like, oh man. When they say call before you dig, they mean.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, over there, yeah. They're not
so
kidding
good.
around.
They're not joking with this stuff. Anyway, pharmacare is a nationalized program to make essentially a drug buying program. And they're going to start so that people don't need to pay for their contraceptives and insulin for diabetes.
Ah. That'd be
it's
cool.
A nationalized healthcare plan, which would be very good because I absolutely know how much both of those cost a month, and we shouldn't be paying for any feminine hygiene projects as far as I'm concerned. We don't get to choose to do that. They should just be covered. We should be allowed to just go in and get them.
It's not really a choice. Believe me, if it was a choice, I would choose otherwise.
We would not. We would be choosing not to. A lot of us would be choosing not to. So I'm like, there's that. It's to cover the cost of IUDs, birth control and stuff, and diabetes medication is what they want to start with. So
yeah, well,
I know that's
so expensive.
Hundreds of dollars a month.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're taking. Like, absolutely, let's start there. But that means we're closer to a national pharmacare program, so a national health insurance plan for medicines, which is good because my medicine keeps getting more and more expensive too. The closer we get to that, the better it would be. But I also don't think I should be paying for dental and my glasses. Or not my glasses, but my eye appointments. I think those should also be covered under basic healthcare. I also believe in a living wage and children wearing school uniforms to go to school and year-round schooling. So I also have unpopular thoughts as well.
I'm with you on the universal. Sorry, what was the first thing you said? Living wage. Yes, that was.
Living wage.
Yeah, living wage. I'm super with you on the living wage. Or yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to
be fair, I'm very specific. Living wage only covers your bill, shelter, and a basic food allowance. It covers absolutely nothing else. You want to do something other than pay your phone bill, and I'm not talking cell phone, I'm talking landline phone bill. Like, we'd have to bring back landlines.
Who's got a landline anymore?
Lots of people. Your mother-in-law has a landline. What are you talking about?
Okay, aside from old people. I meant like...
disabled people, my dear. A lot of disabled people also have landlines, and we make up a fair chunk of the population.
But cell phone?
Not accessible. Coders, get off your butts, and programmers, get off your butts and make us accessible tech, and we will do it. You do not make accessible technology until we bug you about it incessantly. I know, and I know you know I know, because I bug you about it every time I run across a thing that drives me bonkers.
People with
And
children.
what do you
Okay.
do if you're
Sandy's
deaf?
saying I don't have a cell phone. Raspberry says, and people with children. Okay. All right. All right. I have a very narrow view of the world. I apologize. I walk that back. That was thoughtless. I apologize.
So not smartphones, not cell phones, basic internet where you can do some stuff, but you can't. But it's landlined it in, like you're not mobile with it. And a small package. I mean, small package. But your shelter paid for, your food paid for, and your
Like,
bills paid for, your hydro,
you can exist
your water,
and be
and
fed
electricity.
and not cold, and yeah, like basic.
You have a right to a house. You have a right to food. But you don't have a right to other things. You want extras, you work. You want to have a social life, you work. You want to have a cell phone, you work. That sort of idea.
Like,
But your food,
having the
your
space
shelter,
to know that
basic clothes.
you're not going to be homeless
Yes.
if you can't work.
Yeah.
It's just having that brain
Like,
space is
amazing. Like
yeah.
that would help so many people. Would help so many people.
Huh.
So there's
Well,
like I
don't
do
know if
have
you
it,
need to...
but I do have unpopular opinions too. So
yeah, I'm not with you on the school uniforms, but
I am.
I know. That's fine. We don't have to agree
I'm
on
aware
everything.
I'm pretty alone on that one. Oddly, a lot of people like my argument for year-round schooling once I've made it.
I'm sure the kids are
kickback.
not going to be in it, but yeah, like, as a parent, that's like, what are you supposed to do with your kids for 2 months? Because you don't get summer vacation.
Well, we spend the vast majority of our lives. We do our first 18 years in school, for sure. Potentially an extra 3 or 4 afterwards, depending on, our post-secondary educational goals. Then we spend decades in the workforce. You don't get 2 months off in the summertime.
Wouldn't it be great if we
when
did,
you're
though?
an adult. No, it would not. It would absolutely be the worst thing on the planet. So we're raising kids to expect that volume of downtime, and we are harming their education by giving them that much downtime in one solid chunk. And we really just need to look at countries that don't do the same schooling system we do, that do year-round schooling.
It made sense back in the days of farming, and like they were working over the summer on the farm.
Yes,
but
because
yeah, we
you
don't
were on
do
the
that
farm
anymore.
in the field. We don't do that anymore.
It made sense
we have
once.
A different cultural.
It's
yeah.
Not really how things work anymore.
It is not how things work anymore. And it is extremely detrimental because we get a lot of people who burn out because they're not accustomed to balancing a schedule that is just consistent. But if you have always been busy all year round and you're used to having, a week here, a week there, it's nothing to transition to adult existence where you have a week here or a week there.
Well, Raspberry's with you on the school uniforms.
I'm a hardcore school uniform person.
Yeah,
I'm a hardcore school.
It's just pretty good. And school should be
Which I know
September,
a lot of people
November,
are not.
or September to November break, December, January to March break, April, May to July break. Yeah. And the kids regress over the summer so much. Yeah. No, I even remember that as a kid. Like, I haven't done this stuff in 2 months, and you want me to just come back in here like nothing changed. And like, I don't know, I haven't done math in 2 months. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
Man, like
it's
week to week in dance class, like, I'm sorry, I don't remember what we did last week.
Yeah, and we're asking them to do that in addition to everything you have to go through to grow up into an adult. Like, we're asking a lot. We're asking a lot.
But so unrelated to this conversation, but I Kitchenered this side way faster than the other one, and I didn't screw it up.
I'm glad you got it done. Excellent. I also really think we should return to teaching basic etiquette and manners. I don't think we should be adopting the etiquette and manners per se verbatim that we used to have. But I know if we had some
teaching
social
some
constructs
kind of
to deal
standard.
with things politely, we would help alleviate some problems for some neurodivergencies that struggle, especially if it's like anxiety that you struggle from, because you would have a go-to socially accepted response that you don't have to think about because that's just what you do.
And even just
If we
teaching
just took
people
the
that
stigma.
you can disagree about things and not scream at each other.
You can be offended. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. Be
Yeah,
offended.
like,
Absolutely. You're not going to be the same as everybody else. I understand the words "I don't like your kid" coming out of my face is offensive. I try not to say it because it is rude. But I do need to acknowledge that for me it is a thing.
yeah, I don't know. School as it currently stands is not really preparing people for the world.
It's not. It's just memorization and by rote learning. They're not prepared. They're
And that's not what's going to get you a good job these days. It's going to be your problem solving ability, because you can look up anything in an instant that you don't happen to have memorized.
well, even before that, people who got the better jobs were problem solvers, not memorizers.
Yeah.
But we also need to divorce several generations from the idea if you don't have a university education, then you haven't done anything with your life, because that is not where the money and the steady careers are.
No, even for tech, like, you don't need a university degree.
No.
If you're
We
really
need to
good
divorce
at,
people
like,
from that
self-directed
concept.
study, you can do it on a boot camp. And, like, maybe a
Yeah.
certification.
Yeah. And then you're in. Like it's
But
not.
you don't need a
But it's
university degree for sure.
you don't, no, no. So, but that's not the only generation we need to divorce from the university thinking. It's us. So
I
I
am
know there's a lot of things.
surprisingly not good at the self-directed learning unless it's something that I'm really, really interested in. But if it's like the vegetables of learning, like, I know I need this and I'll feel better when I do, but I don't wanna, like,
Oh,
vegetable
I'm
learning.
fine with self-directed. I'm fine with
Um,
self-directed learning.
I require the structure imposed by somebody else or a school system or something. I require structure imposed by somebody else. I do better that way.
But I mean, I got bored and got a makeup certification for fun. So like when I get bored, I go collect certificates. But I like learning. I like challenging myself to learn new things. So
Well, I do too,
that's
but
just a part of who I am.
if it's, it's the vegetable part of it requires a system.
Oh no, I'm good to just do the work and
If
get
that
it
makes
done. It's
any
fine.
sense. Learning vegetables.
It does. It does.
I found some ends I
Though
forgot to weave in before.
I was listening to the news, and apparently some parents are starting to celebrate nano milestones, inch milestones instead of big milestones. I was very confused for the whole conversation. Some
What
people do this.
example? What's like a nano milestone?
Half birthdays. Half birthdays. And
Why
I was
would you
like,
celebrate a
people
half
do
birthday?
that. That's not a
External
birthday.
accountability, yes, that's the fancy word for it, Jude. Thank you.
It is. That's fine. Some people need that. And if you need that and you acknowledge it, then you're good to go.
But okay, sorry, back to the half birthdays thing.
Apparently that's a thing where they celebrate everything. And I'm just like, that's not healthy.
I mean,
Your kid is not going to understand anytime you forget any of the inch milestones, and then imagine them as adults. If they have always been celebrated for doing every little thing, the world is not going to celebrate them for doing
also,
every little thing.
I never even used that as an excuse to have cake. Like a silly excuse to have cake.
Like,
people are full on celebrating it?
apparently it's a thing. I was so confused for the whole chat. I was like, this is a thing. Okay.
I got it. Do I want to trim?
Now
Yes, not yet.
because obviously they do this whole, they focus on one thing and then they focus on another thing. It's like when the results and some of the studies came out that said children should start having less supervised safe play and start having supervised dangerous play, like start teaching kids to take risks and
Oh
how
my
to manage
gosh.
risks.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because we definitely have a bunch of people that are incredibly uncomfortable taking risks because they never did. So like, okay, that makes sense. Like, and you
That's
get the
another
study
thing that'll
updates
get
and
you a
stuff.
good
You're like,
job,
okay,
taking risks.
yes.
Well, somebody was saying about being allowed to fail, whereas Rosberry was saying what's more important than celebrating wins is
Oh my
allowing
God.
kids to fail.
To
Also,
fail.
that would have been so helpful in my childhood, being
Wouldn't that
allowed
have been
to
great?
fail. But
Or
I was the smart kid, I
being,
wasn't allowed to
it was
fail.
okay. So it's okay to fail. That just means you tried something and you have to learn more before you get good at it. Like, we've definitely taken that fear or drive to avoid the failure out of the whole prospect, which I'm like, that can't be good for people either. I fail at stuff all the time. Doesn't, no skin off my back. So of course I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail at something at some point. Absolutely.
I think I've more or less worked that out of
I
my
feel like
own
I'm gonna
brain, but like I'm talking to my mom and she'll be like trying to do something new and like I tried this one thing and it didn't work. Like, okay, so you're just not gonna try it again? You did it
go.
one thing one time and it didn't work, so you're
Done,
just
done.
never gonna do it again?
Yep. But I can't even count the number of people in my hand that won't even try something unless they're gonna be good at it
Or
off the
that
hop.
too,
And I'm
like,
like, that's
oh, I
not how
could
that
never
works.
do that. I can't possibly ever do, like, have you tried? I couldn't do it either the first time. I couldn't do it the fifth time either, but I kept trying and now I can.
What about it? I'm gonna go jump on a trampoline and shoot a Nerf gun. Guys, I'm gonna suck at it. I'll be lucky if I hit a thing ever. I don't care. I'm going. It's gonna be fun.
I'm taking up rock climbing. I am
How many
terrified of
times have
falling.
How many times have I failed to make a loaf of bread?
Oh my gosh,
Oh
yeah,
man,
right?
I can
The
fail at a
bread
loaf of bread.
failures. I occasionally
Oh my
get this
God.
memory come up of my ultimate bread failure. It just like didn't rise whatsoever. So it's just a video of me picking up this loaf of bread that looks fine, but then I drop it on the pan and it goes blam, like it is a brick.
But like, come on now. Come on, that's just it's like people are
It's
like, "Well, I can't do
hilarious.
math." I'm like, "Of course you do math. You do math every day of your life. You do math just fine. Just fine.
Yeah.
You have no
I mean,
problems
like,
with math."
certain kinds of math I am very out of practice with. Like, if you wanted me to do algebra, like right now, it's gonna be a little bit sad,
You
but
don't expect the whole planet to pick up theoretical physics and be able to follow it. That's intense math. Um, Everybody should know how to cook, and if you know how to cook and bake, you know fractions.
yeah.
Do you need to use your calculator? Yeah, sure, probably. Most of us use a calculator these days. That's fine. But you should know your basic fractions. If you can cook and you can bake, you can do fractions. Do you buy groceries? You know how to budget. You know how to add, subtract, and multiply. You know your basics. Are you good at it? I don't know. I don't know how well you practice budgeting. I don't know how well you practice these things. But it's just like we need to take some things out of our vocabulary. We need to make it okay to fail. Sometimes I do the math wrong, and I go, "Oh,
Raspberries.
mess that up."
Raspberry says failure is an event, not a person. Kids need to experience this on a small level instead of at uni. Agree.
Yes.
1000% agree.
They just get so
University was
frazzled
such a
and
rude awakening. Like,
for a lot of people, it
why?
is.
Yeah, like, why are we doing this to people? Like,
That would be much handier. Instead of teaching the buzzwords, teach them to do instead of say. Like, there's one lady, I gotta go back and re-listen to it. It's As It Happens. Was it As It Happens? Or was it? Oh man, now I don't even remember.
come on, get in there.
I think it was As It Happens. The lady was talking about a book that she's published. She's definitely younger than me. Guys, like a lot of radio hosts are younger than me. She'd written a book and she's a climate environmentalist. Like, she's hard, cold, dyed in the wool. She's like, and she knows it and acknowledges that. Like, that's her wheelhouse. That's her interest. Yes, it's her area of study. It's her molehill. It's her sandbox. That's what she's on.
Mm-hmm.
And she published a book on
Beep.
how to make the things that we do more approachable. That it isn't just a doom and gloom situation, and she would like us to immediately stop teaching kids that it's a doom and gloom situation, and
The all
instead
or nothing
start talking
mindset is
about the
so
things.
unhelpful.
It's so unhelpful. start teaching the things that we are doing and making those things more accessible for people. And sometimes it's just as simple as changing the sales pitch.
Jude says,
She
also
lives in-
failing helps you to understand you aren't perfect to start off, and sometimes you have to work to get it. Yeah, that would have been a very helpful lesson to learn as a kid instead of as an adult. Like, I've only learned that lesson in maybe the last 5 or 6 years.
Comfort and change. Teach them to have a backup plan, because their dream is 9 times out of 10 not going to work.
I'm so lucky that my dream job happened to pay really well and be a highly employable skill, except for right now, because recession and tech layoffs.
Not even so much, it's just now the tech industry is doing what the rest of the world is doing. You're just going to have to live with the fact that now you're like everybody else, my dear.
Yeah, well, there's like specifically right now, these couple of years, there's such an influx of talent and not enough jobs. So.
Nope. And there probably won't be.
Yeah.
For a good chunk of the rest of your work career. Because your field is oversaturated.
It is now. So that's going to be fun. I've decided I have a delusional job alert saved on LinkedIn where I'm going to apply. I'm going to be absolutely delusional and apply for, like, I think I have a director position saved in there. And, like, the most annoying part of it is, like, LinkedIn's like, your profile matches this job and is like a director position. I'm like, nobody's gonna hire me for this. I haven't even led a team. But you know what? I'm gonna try and see if I can fake it. Because if I can fake it well enough, that's a very nice, that would, like, double my salary if I can fake it that hard.
It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of work.
I honestly think I can do it.
I don't know.
It's like this catch-22 thing right now. Like, nobody will give me a leadership position because I haven't had because I don't have any leadership experience, but I can't get leadership experience if nobody will give me a leadership position. You know?
Welcome to first job for most people.
That's not even, like, I've been doing this for 10 years.
Well, yeah, but that's a big problem a lot of people have getting their very first job.
I was lucky I was able to network my way into my first job. That's, like, the biggest thing my university degree did for me was
network.
Yeah, I just, like, networked with people going through the program with me, but then they know people. And so, like, my first job was a friend of a friend hired me for their startup.
Yeah, that's a lot of people have to do it that way.
It's it kind of sucks living in a city where your network isn't.
Their first job. But they had the skills, but nobody would give them the time of day because they hadn't held the job before.
Yeah, it's pure luck getting your first job. All right, I'm going to just weave in these, like, 3 more ends that I have on this other sleeve. Because then this sweater is, like, done. I just need to wash it and trim the ends.
Ooh, lovely. I have just about made it through the first ball where I pulled apart where it's been double-stranded into single strands. With all of the work that is involved doing it off of a project that I ripped that had been together for a while, and you know what happens when you knit with 2 strands. It all gets twisty.
Yeah.
And I'm twisting as we go. Which is making my life interesting.
Jude was saying I can cook and bake, but can't do fractions.
Sure you do.
How does that work?
Every time you cook, every time you cook, every time you bake, you're doing fractions. How do I know? Because that's how we taught my niece fractions.
Fractions and ratios. I didn't even realize.
Yep. Fractions and ratios. That's all cooking and baking
I didn't
is
realize
fractions,
that
fractions and ratios.
was teaching me ratios.
And measurements.
do
Learning,
wish
watching my dad work as a carpenter and learning how things get built taught me spatial awareness.
I do wish it was more
And
common
also
in North America to cook with like a kitchen scale and weights. I wish that
that's fair.
is something I had learned in
That's
home ec,
just
because that absolutely was not. So I've had to figure that out on my
no,
own.
because we cook like Americans.
It's now that I've got a kitchen scale and I'm doing more stuff like why, like,
Grams
now I
are
don't
way more
have
accurate.
measuring cups to, like, I just plop my bowl on the thing and I zero out the scale every time I need to add new stuff, and like I don't need to dirty a whole bunch of measuring cups and measuring spoons. I just like shake little bits in until it says the right weight, and then I zero out the scale again and do the next thing. Like, this is so much easier. Why did we ever do
No,
it any other way?
don't ask me, because a tablespoon is not terribly accurate.
No, because like maybe you heap it, or maybe like the hydration of your flour is different than whoever wrote the recipe, and like
Yeah.
it makes a difference.
Grams and scales are way more accurate because we're essentially American. That's why it's why. We also don't do a lot of things in like metric that we should be doing because it's more accurate. We don't. We do it in imperial.
Oh yeah, Jude says I don't cook in cups or ounces, and also says I don't think we we gram and scales users are doing as much fractions, which makes sense. Actually, now that I think of it, if you're just dumping stuff in a bowl until the scale says the right thing, you're probably not doing a whole lot of fractions. Versus if you're doing like half cups and third cups and stuff.
When teaching kids, half cups and third cups teach fractions. Also teaches them to read American recipes, and given that you live in the continental North America, you will be reading.
It's probably the more useful thing. Although with the advent of the internet, like half the recipes I see end up being in like grams, and I could never use those ones because it didn't have a scale, or I'd have to convert everything, and it was just such a pain. And now I have a scale and I can just use those ones, and it's great.
So basically, because you didn't go buy one thing for a long time, you struggled with it?
Yeah, because I wasn't willing to spend $20 on a kitchen scale.
Got it.
Yeah. Kitchen scales are cheap
or,
and extremely useful.
I do either or, and I do as the recipe calls for. So I cook in grams if the recipe is written in grams. I cook in quarter cups and third cups if the recipe is written in quarter cups and third cups. Because the recipe is
that's so long. Okay,
made
here we go.
that specific way. And it's meant to work that specific way. So that's what I do. And it's just as much of a nuisance for me to have to clean a big bowl as it is for me to have to clean measuring cups. So
I vastly prefer one big measuring bowl, or measuring bowl. I can rinse out the bowl and stick it in the dishwasher versus having to like wash out all of the plastic things I can't put in the dishwasher.
My measuring cups go in the dishwasher just fine. They also collapse.
I don't have collapsing ones. I just have plastic ones. Actually, I think I also have some metal ones, but they're kind of crap because they bend. Like the handles bend if you scoop anything. Like if you're trying to scoop a half cup of flour, you'll bend the handle.
That's not good.
No, they're not useful.
Bull silicone ones don't bend when I put a whole cup of honey into them. That's not dense. A light substance.
Yeah, no, our plastic ones hold up just fine. They're just like, I do stick them in the dishwasher, but they're probably not supposed to go in the dishwasher. But you know what? I also don't care that much because they're from the dollar store.
Yeah, my thinking is they're from the dollar store. If they die, I'll just go buy new ones.
What? Cooking in milliliters is always fun? 500 milliliters of flour is a thing. What?
Yes.
Milliliters of flour.
Yeah, breaks your brain when you think about it for a bit.
But flour is not a liquid.
Neither technically is my cat. That doesn't really stop her.
Well, no, it's universally acknowledged that cats are a fluid.
Till she's standing on me, then I guarantee you she's got bones in that pointy little foot of hers.
Okay. There's that. Okay, I think I have... Oh, I found 2 more ends, and then I'm done this, and then I'm done, dun 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 dun. Ta-da! I'm so close.
am
I'm also getting so
still
warm with the sweater on my
unwinding
lap. It's so cozy.
and rewinding. I am unwinding and rewinding and shoving small balls of yarn into my shirt. That's what you do.
As you do. Ooh,
That's
when
what
I
you do.
finish this, should I see if Mr. Diana will come up here and try it on?
Since he doesn't specifically want to be on the internet, you should wait till you're not on the internet. As he opts to prefer his privacy.
Okay. He does stream sometimes, but only sometimes.
He has not chosen to live on the internet.
No, he definitely is not.
Anyways, I'm sure he'll be fine with like the pictures you post later, but
oh yeah. I mean, obviously I'm gonna ask, but I'm
just
sort of
he
assuming.
doesn't choose to. Yeah, if he doesn't choose to live on the internet, we should probably respect his privacy about that. Also, it'd be out of the blue, and really, how well would you deal with something that's out of your wheelhouse, out of the blue, with no warning?
I mean, given it's a Saturday, he's probably still in his pajamas too, so.
Also, as one should be if one doesn't work on a Saturday.
I 100% would be in my pajamas right now if I wasn't doing this.
I had a housemate that was the first thing she did when she came home. She got home, took off her work clothes, put on her pajamas, and started her at-home life. So she had day pajamas and night pajamas.
Oh. I am not fancy enough for day and night pajamas.
Her day pajamas got pretty cool. It also justified buying multiple sets of matching pajama tops and bottoms, which I can get behind.
Oh, if those ones in already. Guys, you guys, I think I did it. I think that's all of the ends.
Did you do it? Excellent.
I think I've woven in all of the ends. I'm not trimming them till after I wash it, because things shift.
Fair.
Oh, and I need to remove my excess yarn from this one armpit. Hang on. Let me remove my excess bits.
Your excess bits?
Yeah.
I am dekinking some strands here.
Maybe I'll try on the sweater. That's what we'll do. I'll put on the sweater.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes total sense. Do that. You choose to live on the internet.
I do.
You're also smaller than your husband, so it's not like you're gonna stretch out the sweater.
Oh my gosh, no. Oh, and it went from being definitely too small to now it's oversized. I got him to try it on but it was off the needles and I hadn't done the armpits yet. So okay. It definitely fits. And it's definitely slightly oversized now.
That's fine.
Which is what I was going for.
Multiple layer kind of human anyway.
Oh yeah.
Given his preference for gamer t-shirts with a overshirt. That is his style.
Well, in the winter, it's gamer t-shirt with, actually, it's usually plain t-shirt with a sweater.
Ooh.
In the winter, although he got himself some synthesizer t-shirts. So now it's synthesizer t-shirts with a sweater. It's very cute. There's like a little robot playing the modular synth. That's very cute.
So he has a nerdy sweater.
Well, the t-shirt, yeah. And they're very soft, and I kind of want to steal one.
But that is something Wise has been doing for a good long while, so you're probably okay.
Oh no, what if I've split this yarn at some point now? It doesn't want to pull out nicely.
There we are. Come here. So close and the strands broke. That's fine. Wind the rest of this. And remove some of the energy.
Oh, I see what I did.
From the strands, which will make my life much easier. Now that we're so close to the end of the ball, And it's crochet, so I will just knot it and crochet it in.
There we go.
That's right,
That's
you
a
heard
bed
me.
of yarn.
I will not my crochet.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here it is. It's beautiful.
Good.
He's done.
Try it on.
I gotta scooch back. Scooch.
Really have an FO for podcasting. That's excellent. Gotta love an FO. Gotta love an FO.
Don't mind that end. It's woven in, I swear. I just haven't trimmed it.
It's woven in, I swear.
It is. It is. I swear. I definitely did this one the other day. I definitely did the sleeves the other day. All right.
I believe it.
I don't know if this is front or back. It doesn't really matter. It's symmetrical. Ha! Look at that. I did the sweater. It's done. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy,
It
shimmy.
looks good. It looks good. Aha. Ooh,
There's a couple of places I was looking at my sweater the other day. That's the same one, and I've done the patterning a little bit differently in a couple places, but no, it's close enough.
Sure, it'll be fine. Are we going to let everybody know that WIP Sprints next month are going to be early because you're busy?
Right.
The last
yes.
Saturday of the month?
Yes, I'm competing in a swing dance competition on the last Saturday of March, so I will not be here to run a stream.
Oddly, you'll be busy.
Oddly, I will be busy. So our next WIP Sprints will be on the 9th of March.
Okay.
Which is a solid 3 weeks early. Which I think is actually only 2 weeks from now. We'll be doing another WIP Sprints. But that's our birthday weekend. So it's birthday WIP Sprints, so bring cake.
Cupcakes, donuts, salad, however you choose to celebrate. I don't know anybody who celebrates with salad, but I had to say it.
I don't know, unless it's like one of those like Minnesota salads that aren't salads. They're actually desserts.
I really like those Instagram reels.
Like the marshmallow salad, you know, like the things that are very definitely it's a dessert.
Salad. I'm like, okay. Listen.
Okay.
My mom likes the ambrosia salad recipe that my grandma used to make. I have no idea what it tastes like, guys. It's made up of mini marshmallows and instant jello.
Suzanne is asking, or should we send cake? I mean, you can certainly try.
Yes! I mean, I will accept cash donations for cake. Absolutely. Because I'll take it. I will celebrate all month long if possible, if I can swing it.
Homemade donuts, says Jude. I'm not that determined. I'll just go buy donuts.
Oh, homemade cake donuts.
Or the fancy cookies.
Make some beignets. Oh my god, beignets.
Ooh. I made pie the other day, and it's still in the fridge because I keep forgetting it's there.
You are not good at this whole eating junk food thing.
No, it exists and then just keeps existing.
Well, I've got my one ball separated into 2 balls. Took me 25 minutes, but I separated these 2 balls of yarn that had once been knit together.
Nice. So I completely finished this sweater. I did a row of the librarian. I did a swatch and a half for the yarn review. And I worked a little bit on my blanket.
Okay. Good. That's some successful WIP sprinting.
Bot donuts have potato in them, and I can't eat them, says Jude. That's very disappointing.
Yes. Most donuts have corn in them. I have to make them at home.
That is extremely disappointing.
There is, and Donuts has changed their base recipe, so I also can no longer have their donuts. So I can't even eat the specialty donuts anymore in the city. Bronuts changed a few years ago, and Donuts changed this past year a bit. So none of their donuts are corn-free anymore.
That is incredibly disappointing.
I can't have either of those. So I feel you, Jude. I feel you. Which
All
sucked
right.
because I loved their vegan donut because they also had no dairy, so it wouldn't upset my system at all, but I can't have any of them anymore.
Ah. That's what I have to say to that.
So I make beignets at home. They're freaking delightful. And I don't do it very often because I eat a bunch of them.
Also says, I will be late for the next WIP Sprint. I have a concert that afternoon. Totally fair.
Ooh, well, enjoy the concert.
Yeah.
That sounds delightful.
All right, shall
I
we
need
sign off?
Yeah, I need to go scrounge something for food and figure out what's going on for D&D.
Yeah, I need to
Guys,
figure out if
I love
I'm,
you.
how many people I'm cooking dinner for. What did I just knock on the floor? Oh.
Also, a thing that needs to be handled. What do we got upcoming? We've got episodes this week. Yes. There's episodes and voting and things going on.
Yes, stuff
One
and
day,
things are happening.
I'm just going to sit here and stare at the screen till Diana does an outro because she's in charge of the buttons. Until that day happens, I'm going to say I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to knit.
Don't forget to knit.
You are in charge of the buttons. Why am I in charge of the outro? I don't know.